And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to season 2 of the Loves Gymnastics podcast, brought to you by the Loves Gymnastics Network, brought to you by the creator of this, Michaela Loves Gymnastics, and her co-host, Oscar, aka Gymnastics Saves Lives, Miss Shayna, and Ezra. And together, we bring you the Loves Gymnastics podcast. Season 2 begins now. Thank you, everybody, for your patience. We love and appreciate you. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, tell a friend, bring more people into the community. It's NCAA 2025 time. Let's go, girls! And welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of Welcome back to my channel, Michaela Loves Gymnastics. Hey everybody, I'm here. Talk everybody. I'm just here hosting the show. I don't even want to talk. Talk Oscar, Shayna, Ezra. I'm not here.
Hey.
Hi, y'all.
Hi. That was such
Hey.
a sad beginning.
You're here, but you're not here. How's everybody doing?
I'm
Good.
Oh, I have been so busy, but I've not been busy because I'm stuck in the home because of the winter weather. It's finally up so we can drive again on the road.
Shayna, can I ask you a favor? Or Urza, I have my fan on and I want to know how loud it is if you can hear. So I'm going to mute myself and tell me if you hear a difference. Was there any difference?
No, I still can hear it. Is it hot?
You said you can hear it when it's muted?
Mm-hmm. Or is that like a background or cars or something?
It must be someone else because I'm muting my whole thing.
I don't know. I mean, it's not bothering me, but I definitely hear something.
How about this? Did it get quieter?
Yeah, it did. I don't hear it anymore.
Oh, that's confusing though, because I totally muted myself completely.
Yeah, I don't hear the background anymore.
But now, do you hear it now?
No, I don't hear it anymore. Oh, I do hear something now.
I'm mostly asking for, I should have asked Nisha if Nisha can hear, because I want to be able to, I want to make sure that everyone can hear what everyone's saying. Yeah, I stayed in yesterday because of the weather as well in New York. The snow still is, it's turned into ice now on all the sidewalks. It's so upsetting to watch anyone who has difficulty walking, especially certain old people in my neighborhood. I'm always petrified they're gonna slip and fall.
Not the old people.
I didn't mean to single them out. There are young people who have trouble walking too.
Oh, so how's everybody doing?
I'm great. I said that earlier, but maybe my fan was too noisy to hear.
Yeah, I didn't hear you.
I feel like I'm the only one who wants to be here right now. Well, Michaela, we don't have to do a show if you don't want to. I thought you really wanted to.
She might just be busy.
I'm not buying it.
I don't hear her at all.
No, and Urza disappeared too. It's just me and you.
Okay, well that's fine. Recap. What has been going on the internet? Because I know you guys love all the good messy stuff on Twitter and all those things of the things.
I do, but it would pain me to do it without Michaela here because I need her reactions.
Y'all can talk. I'm here. I'm doing something.
But we don't want to. I don't want to talk about certain things when you're engaging. So why don't we talk about NC2A or something, Shayna?
Yeah, stop, Royal. What was your favorite meet this past weekend?
Georgia.
We already talked about preview next week's meets.
That's what we're doing.
Stop.
So, I would say the most impactful beats for this week is starting tomorrow. Well, not impactful, but it's Georgia versus Florida. It's gonna get the ball rolling for interesting meets, and it starts early.
Who are you pulling for?
Well, obviously Florida's gonna win, but I would love to see Georgia upset.
So they will be at 5:30.
Who's gonna host that?
Eastern time. So it'll be an hour early my time. So it'll be 5:30 my time for Georgia at Florida and Michigan State at Ohio State. That's going to be really good.
Gonna be interesting because both teams are doing
really good.
Amazing.
I'm actually going to watch the Michigan State Ohio State meet.
Yes. Also, LSU and Arkansas will be tomorrow night.
I can watch both, actually. I can watch one on one thing and one on the other because that's SEC and Big Ten. NC State at North Carolina. They have Oklahoma at Alabama. That's going to be really good.
Yes.
LSU at Arkansas might be closer than we think. LSU typically does not do well at Arkansas. I think 2 years ago they won, but before that it had been some years before they won in Arkansas.
Yes.
So we'll see. And then Arkansas just scored a 197, so I think LSU would have to definitely have some mistakes to win. I'm interested to see how Utah does at BYU.
It'll be a blowout, but
that terrible scoring at their last meet.
Horrendous scoring.
I just didn't see it for Utah this year, and then to see them score almost a 198, I don't know. I haven't watched the meet. I really don't want to watch it, but
no, don't watch it.
And then Oregon State at Auburn, which would be the late night on ESPN2. I guess Jay Carey being prime time. We'll see if Oregon State is legit. They'll be in SEC territory, so that's a great.
We'll see if they.
Did you ever watch OSU from last week?
Huh?
I asked if you ever ended up watching OSU from last week.
I did. Oregon State. Yeah, I watched the first 2 rotations, and then I fell asleep on it.
So do you feel like they deserved their 197?
Definitely not. Their vaults were overscored, in my opinion. Every last one of them. Other than Jade, I just didn't see it for their bars rotation.
I don't see anything for Oregon.
And then I can't speak on the beam and floor rotation yet, but their floor rotation was definitely the highest scored throughout the based off. But I think based off of what we've seen, scores were kind of high all this past weekend. So we may be getting back.
UCLA competed.
We may be getting back to regular scheduled program with scoring, or
yes,
if they kind of bring it back down. UCLA will be Saturday, Illinois at UCLA. I have Big Ten Network.
Yes. That will be a quick one.
So, Urza, do you know the T? I don't know if you know much about the Washington and Iowa programs. But why did Jennifer, I think her last name is Llewellyn now, but she used to be Kessler. Why did she leave Washington to go to Iowa?
Well, I don't know. I know that like half of the coaching, like the entire coaching staff was left from Washington the previous season, and she went to Iowa. I'm not sure the exact reasoning or if it was just a personal coaching switch, but I definitely looked into it.
If Michaela knows anything about it, because all I remember is around the 2016, 17, 18 season, Elise Ray was over the Washington program, and for whatever reason, she stopped coaching due to family reasons. And Jen Llewellyn was the coach of Lindenwood, and she became the coach of Washington, which is, she's from Washington. So I don't know, maybe with the realignment of the conferences, she didn't want to do as much traveling, because I'm noticing Washington is going against Michigan. So that's kind of like
which is going to be a long travel.
Really, that's a really big travel.
Really
and
far.
For that entire coaching staff to leave Iowa, it's like they swapped. Jen took over Iowa, and the people followed her there, and then the Iowa staff that was there once Libby got fired went to Washington. So I kind of want to know why Jen she was just getting Washington like back in regionals, and she just up and left. So
it probably was I believe it's a personal choice for her.
Yeah,
to switch.
You know,
but the traveling is going to be a very important thing this season for teams, especially when you see teams don't compete good. We also have to stay in mind that they are traveling the day before they get to their meets, and so with long traveling, it's going to be difficult to navigate how the teams will
because Washington went to they moved to the Big Ten as well, or did they go to the?
They're in the Big Ten with UCLA.
So they're in the Big Ten now with UCLA. So they will be going against all of those.
No, I'm incorrect. They are in the Big 12.
They're in the Big 12. So I wonder why they have a meet with Michigan.
Well, I guess it's because Michigan is kind of there, but I wouldn't risk a long travel to compete against Michigan.
Because you got to think about it. UCLA is in California, and they just competed all the way across the country, basically, in Maryland.
The reason for that is because of football and nothing else. It's the football.
Crazy. They have to take into account those are still student athletes, and those are just regular season meets. So
and they're also adults managing their own lives outside of the sport. And so
I just think they kind of rush.
Yeah.
That's like Oregon State. They'll be in Alabama. They're not used to traveling like that unless it's like a regional or a championship.
That's
very
far for Oregon.
That's so far. That's far.
Yeah.
All right, and then Sunday we have a lot of meets as well. So many to choose from: Minnesota at Iowa, Stanford at Pitt, Denver, Clemson at Cal, Arizona at Arizona State, Kentucky.
I apologize to everybody on Facebook and Instagram. I don't know why it's not working. I'm trying everything in my power to fix it, but I'm slowly but surely becoming more and more frustrated. And now I have an attitude, so let me just stop and enjoy the show and have fun, because now I have an attitude. So everybody give me a second to decompress. Keep talking. Keep talking.
We're just going over to this week. Yeah, we don't like Arkansas, Nisha. I love I kind of pulled for them when they first started that program because I did like Mark and Renee, and then I heard all the shitty shit about her, and then they divorced, and then Jordan took over, and I'm not gonna lie, I want to see the best for Jordan, but I'm not impressed with them this year. I don't know. Their best bar worker, Bree Strotar. I don't know where she is, but
she's injured, I believe.
That is unfortunate for them because her along with Manny Jones are the best bar workers, and it seems like bars is a weakness for them. I feel like they don't. I'm tired of seeing so many Chinkle Fools from them.
Yes, they need to step it up.
They lost Lauren Williams, which is a big setback for them on that event.
Big loss for them.
Because we had high hopes for Arkansas, especially you got Joycelyn. She joined, but she can't carry that team. And it's like, where are the other freshmen on that team? I don't think they have that much. I don't think they've had another freshman compete this year. So, the thing with Arkansas, Nisha, is I hate them less than the other SEC teams. And I say that when it comes to, I love gymnastics and I pull for all of the gymnasts. I may not pull for the school, but for the actual gymnasts, I pull unless they do some shit that I don't like, which has nothing to do with gym. But Arkansas is the last team other than, Missouri and Oklahoma coming. So I don't hate them as much as I hate like the Georgias and the Floridas and the Alabamas, who LSU has typically always had rivalries with.
Yeah.
So, and I don't dislike Jordan. Like, I actually like her gymnastics a little bit more than I like Allie Raisman's, if that kind of makes sense back in 2012. So, but I will always root for LSU, yes. But just based off history, LSU does not do well in Arkansas. LSU does not do well at Missouri.
They don't.
And it just seemed like recently, like they lose like by this much at Florida, when I feel like they should win a lot of those meets at Florida.
Do you think LSU came close to beat Florida due to the home scoring?
I think
so. If you think they were in Florida,
a lot of people, and if I remember last year when LSU was at Florida, a lot of people think LSU won that meet, including Spencer, including who was doing the meet for College Gym News. But then a lot of people think Florida won this year. So that's what's subjective about the sport and about the scoring. But I feel like the scoring was high for a lot of people.
Yes.
At this past weekend. I feel like some of those Florida bar scores were a little too high as well. To an extent, I feel like Aaliyah Finnegan, all her scores were too high except vault. And some of LSU's floor scores were high. So when you put apples to oranges, I feel like it evened out. LSU won by 10. Florida could have won by just as much, if less, if you're looking at it from a different lens. If you take away Leah's floor score, which scored a 995 with an obvious step back. But I just feel like LSU is the better team.
Right now, yes.
And on 3 events, Florida was very strong. But Florida gave away just little silly things. And just from what my experience, especially like the last 10 years of NCAA gym, you have to be on if you're the away team. Because you're not going to get
the scores.
You're not going to get the benefit of the doubt. And it's like Leanne Wong. She messed up on floor. She had a iffy beam routine. Selena Harris stepped on her dismount. Like all of those things are shoulda, coulda, wouldas where you really pinpoint where meet was won lost. Because one routine does not do it in a 24.
One routine does not define an entire meet.
Correct. So when you look at it like that, you know, I feel like it evened out, and I do think the right team won.
I don't do we know if Selena is kind of dealing with an injury kind of thing, or is it just
I don't know. Maybe, you know, whatever happened in the preseason with her and her transferring and getting acclimated to a new life, you know, she's leaving California, you know,
and
at
go
UCLA. They schooling, if I'm mistaken, they're not on a regular like fall spring type of thing like a lot of schools are in the South. So she's used to that, you know. She may have gotten hurt. She may have, you know, I hate to say it like this, but women are growing. Adolescents, you know, 18, 19, you're still growing at that age. She may have gained a couple in height. She may have gained a little weight. She may have gotten hurt. You know, it's a lot of variables that happen. She went cross to another school. I still think she
all the way to a different state.
Yeah.
Did and Selena did she look better than she looks now at the beginning of last season and the season before that? Or does she improve usually throughout the season?
Selena was a rocket when she came to UCLA. She was the number one recruit.
She came swinging.
She looked great, but she's also on a better team, in my opinion, now.
She's a sophomore now?
She's a junior.
So what about her second year?
She was their best gymnast.
But at the beginning of the season, she was solid?
Yeah, she was.
She was always solid during her two first seasons.
Her tenure at UCLA has been nothing but exemplary. And I think that is why people are so like, what happened at UCLA? Why did she get kicked off the team?
And it was such a thing that was like so quick that we couldn't even get facts about what exactly happened.
Yeah. And I'm just still mad because it's like, why you went to Florida? You should have went to LSU. But maybe
fuck LSU. She went to the right team.
I agree.
Yes, absolutely.
She's not gonna win a championship at Florida.
Oh, run your mouth, Michaela. Run your mouth.
She wasn't going to win a championship. You have a better chance of winning a championship at Florida than at LSU. LSU roster is have too many gymnasts. Her talents doesn't fit at LSU. Her talents does fit at Florida. Actually, perfect. I feel like
at LSU.
No, I don't think so. I think
she would have been on all four events. She would have, because you got Connor hurt. You got Haley Bryan hurt. Been on 4. LSU didn't want her. That's what I'm thinking. Jay Clark and them was like, we're going to stay away from that. We've already had controversies with Alexis Jeffrey. We don't need another problem child to try to correct and free.
Baby, everybody don't want to go to LSU. She went to the school she wanted to go to.
No, she went to the school that took her ass.
Oh?
Obviously, it was a problem.
Oh my gosh.
I'm pretty sure UCLA.
She went to LSU camp.
No offense to you, Ezra. No offense to you, but with UCLA and their struggles, I know they wish they had Selena Harris on their team right now.
We don't even know.
We're not struggling.
Whatever UCLA did, and this is the thing that I'm not gonna let y'all sit up here, my co-host on this show, and trash Selena Harris like them racist bitches on Gypternet.
Oh, I'm not trashing Selena Harris. I'm just saying.
Selena Harris,
and we're good over here.
Selena Harris made a first look. Whatever happened at UCLA,
we're good over here.
Whatever happened at UCLA, and I heard what happened. So I'm not finna, but I'm finna just tell y'all what I heard. I don't know if this is true. Now, this not actually not going. I'm not going to say it because it's not actually painting her in the best light. But what I will say is this: when people is playing in your time, and people is playing in your face, and people has made all kind of promises to you to get you to go to their school, and once you are at that school, almost none of them promises are being met. I would have cussed out too, and if cussing somebody out get you off of a team, hey.
Michaela, what do you know, girl?
Especially if you're the #1 recruit in the goddamn country coming in. You know, that's like winning a Heisman Trophy and going to the NFL as the #1 draft. You know, I have these intangibles that these other bitches don't have. So I need to get some shit. Yes. I love Selena. Don't get me wrong, Michaela.
We do not hate her for it. We do not hate her for it.
I've never hated her. I've loved her, regardless of what happened. But she should have went to LSU. Or she should have went to a Michigan State. She is not going to win a championship with Florida. I'm sorry.
And LSU should win another one.
They have a better shot to me than Florida this year. Now I don't know about next year. And then for what Nisha's saying is Selena went to a lot of the LSU camps.
Why would Selena Harris want to go to be teammates with Alexis Jeffries again?
She wasn't there when that happened.
She was not there when it happened.
And Selena Harris.
She probably heard a couple things about Alexis.
Wait, what?
That's not a good look for the coaches. You think she wants to go be coached by those people who invited her and made her
camps? LSU camps are some of the most popular camps for gymnastics. And what Nisha is saying is Jay didn't offer her a scholarship. So he must have saw something. She wasn't. Not everybody's a good fit. So, you know,
maybe she was a little too black for Jay Clark. Maybe Jay Clark had enough blackies on the team.
With that being said,
I'm just joking. I don't know. I'm just joking. Everybody.
I just don't believe it.
I would believe it, Michaela. I just think it's total bullshit to say that LSU doesn't want Selena Harris.
What I personally think, now again, this I don't know. I do know
culture is a big thing for some schools. Just because
culture is a big thing for some schools.
Let mothers speak.
And for me, I think what happened with Selena, the culture of UCLA and Selena Harris just did not match. I don't think it was nothing that deep. I think everybody is putting 10 on 20. I just think Selena Harris and the culture of LSU did not match. That's just it. And sometimes that happens.
Selena looks really happy at UCLA.
Right.
I mean, why do I keep saying LSU? I'm so sorry, everybody. I mean,
then Jordan was coming back too.
Wait, Nisha, will you send it to me too, please?
I don't think the culture at UCLA and Selena Harris match. I think Selena Harris thought she was going to UCLA to be in some great liberal melting pot, and I think she felt like she lived in Alabama at UCLA. That's just, I feel like UCLA,
not Alabama.
I just don't feel like UCLA is this great liberal melting pot like they present on TV. And I just don't think that culture at UCLA and Selena Harris matched well.
Mm-hmm.
But don't you think looks can be deceiving, and also looks are not indicative of the whole story. But to me, she looked so happy competing at UCLA up until they lost at the end.
But that was on camera. We don't know.
Correct. I feel like
that's what I was saying. I tried to preface it with that.
Oh.
I'm just saying she looked happy.
Mm-hmm.
She was probably happy of gymnasts she was around. Not. She probably was happy at the teammates she had.
Oh, that's a good distinction, Urza, because I think a lot of our viewers are probably listening and thinking that we're talking about her teammates instead of maybe the administration or the coaches.
Correct. Yeah, I just feel like everybody should just back off of Selena Harris. I don't feel like she's doing anything in particularly wrong, messy, or shady towards UCLA. I feel like
was it a little petty on which she posted?
I thought it was so petty. Shady, but I don't think there's anything wrong with that.
No, it was petty, and it was a cute
it's
petty.
Petty, but there's nothing wrong with that.
I love. I love that kind of pettiness. I love it.
But even if y'all want to say she was being petty, I would say the Gymternet created this pettiness because in week 1 at Florida, when Florida did not do their absolute best, y'all was like, "Oh, don't you wish she was at UCLA now? Look at what UCLA is rating. Look at what Florida is ranked." So then the very next week, when I said give Florida another week, and Florida turned up and became the 3rd-ranked school in the country, Selena Harris talked her shit, and now y'all like, "Why you talking shit, Selena?" Because y'all started it, not y'all. Here, I'm just saying in general. You all started this. So when mother is putting a period to the end of this sentence, now y'all mad again. So I feel like the Gymternet is creating beef with Selena Harris, just like they created beef with so many other gymnasts for no reason. And y'all are gobstopped that Selena Harris have the balls to tell y'all to suck a dick.
Yes, she did. And she had every right to do so.
Hey, why is there a background? Okay. I do not know what's going on with my computer. Is the background up? It's just a black screen for me.
Yes, it's a black screen for me too.
Don't pay no attention or don't look at it because you try to get mad. Okay. I'm gonna shut up again.
Here's a messy question, Urza. You might know. Does Selena still follow any of the UCLA girls?
I definitely believe she definitely follows Jordan and Shay, but other than that, I am not sure. But I definitely know she still follows.
Do you think Jordan and Shay follow her?
They absolutely do. I'm pretty sure. I mean, Jordan definitely does.
Good. I would hope so.
I don't think they have any beef in between the gymnasts. It was
there we go.
School kind of thing.
Yes, Jordan follows Selena. And Selena follows Jordan. Yay!
But can we say that for the entire team? I don't know.
Probably, definitely not. I thought she followed them all to begin with.
But see, even that, like, y'all don't put that same pressure on Anna Choreographer, whatever Anna's last name is. Whatever. Y'all don't check to see if she still followed the UCLA gymnast. Y'all just accept the fact that she's at Utah now and has moved on.
I personally
no, but I want to know if they get along.
I personally don't care for Anna as a gymnast.
I think people look at it differently because Selena was kicked off compared to Anna, leaving or whatever she did.
But also, Anna isn't shading UCLA.
But was Selena actually kicked off, or was it a kind of a mutual decision?
We totally don't know. We don't know.
I don't think if it was mutual, they would have never said she was kicked off.
Well, they said she was dismissed for breaking rules.
Mm-hmm.
They never really said, like, they forced Selena off the team. They just said she was
dismissed. So, yeah.
Which is being kicked off,
like, Reed was kicked off.
But technically,
you can be dismissed and then added back on.
Yes, an athlete can be dismissed and added back to the team.
And I'm pretty sure that's what UCLA thought was going to happen.
Yeah, but it didn't.
Because that's what happened one year with Jeanette Antolin.
Yes,
she was
kicked off the team.
And
Well, yeah, very similar thing for breaking rules, and nobody would ever say what she did.
Yeah.
Did they actually dismiss Mohini Bhardwaj, or did she just get in trouble?
I don't remember any tea with Mohini, so if you know this tea, you just break.
Oh, she was really naughty in college. The coach Val and her had beef, but I think they like made up in the end. But I think she gave her a lot of trouble. She talked about how she was drinking and partying a lot and smoking cigarettes.
And is it wrong because she's in college? She's an adult.
You're not I mean, you can't drink when you're 18.
But that's college. That's the college
life. But you know Miss Valerie Condos Field and her high horse.
Yes.
Her higher moral ground. She expects her girls. She has expectations. She has standards. What's another topic?
No, I'm still stuck on this because I know I'm very distracted. Everybody, Oscar keeps testing me. Oscar keep. Oscar like, why are we doing the show? Your attitude. Like, yes, I know everybody.
I did not say your attitude. I didn't say nothing.
I'm saying my attitude.
But that's like,
I'm saying my attitude. I'm so sorry, everybody. I'm just not the happy, bubbly person that I normally am. I don't have an excuse for why I'm in this mood. I just am. So,
and that's fine. To be clear, all I said was, why don't we do the show another time when you feel like talking?
I really do feel like talking, though. It's just, I don't know. I keep getting pissed off about shit. Like, so let me smoke. Oh, you know what? That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to get high as fuck. So keep talking, everybody.
Did y'all see the Levi letter about her eating
disorder? I did, yes. That
Levi.
Was Levi Young Rui Vivar.
That's a good.
That was very brave of her.
That was mad. That was
Because weren't we just asking about her recently?
Yeah, because
she
hadn't showed up at any of the meets.
Any lineups.
Now Stanford, they look good to me. I watched their first couple. I never finished meets no more. I fall asleep on them, y'all. I'm sorry, but they looked good. I watched their vault, their bars, and their beam. I didn't finish their floor, but they looked good. They have another freshman that's pretty good as well.
Are you speaking of Alana, the color gymnast?
No, not the black girl. The Asian girl.
Oh, I know who you're speaking about. She led.
I think she was coached by. I think she went to Airborne, where Nola Matthews and Morgan Hurd's coach were.
I'm gonna look it up now. I'm sorry.
It's not Ui Soma, is it?
That's I thought isn't she had. Yeah, it's her too. She looked good, but it's another one.
Yeah, I know who.
I hate to say it like that. It's another Asian lady on their roster. She looked
Kendra Chang
from Japan.
Is Kendra Chang.
I'm pretty sure she's from Airborne as well, to both of them, but I could be wrong.
Sienna Robinson looks really good. I've always loved Anna Roberts' form. Yeah. Stanford just doesn't have a lot of depth, which may hurt them.
Yes, she was at Airborne. And what's the name of the coach I'm thinking of?
Hallie Mose.
Certainly not.
She's the one of the coaches.
No, she's the coach at Airborne, not Stanford. Ui Soma is she it looks like she was on the She competed for Japan. So that's who you must be thinking of.
Japanese girl.
Mm-hmm.
But then she also trained at Woga. Okay, here's something messy I'm going to say. In Levi Young Rui Vivar's letter, for those who didn't read it, she came forward and said...
out loud? Because it's not very long, is it?
I'd be happy to read it.
Yeah.
So, Levi writes... Hi everyone, I wanted to come on here today to share some deeply personal information. I have decided to redshirt this season and take a brief leave of absence from Stanford, just the winter quarter, because Stanford is on a quarter system, so they have 4 quarters instead of 2 semesters. I've decided to redshirt this season and take a brief leave of absence from Stanford, just the winter quarter, to heal from an eating disorder I have been struggling with. I will return to school and training before the spring quarter starts. I struggled with an eating disorder prior to my time at Woga and Stanford. My time at Stanford has been everything I dreamed of and more. I have been loving gymnastics and school, and both have been going well. However, I felt the disorder was infringing on my ability to fully enjoy these aspects of my life. It was pulling an abundant amount of my mental and physical energy away from the things I hold dear. I had lots of trepidation sharing this information with the public, as it is something I haven't told many of my closest friends. However, I think it is important for various reasons. First, I want to be extremely honest with everyone who is a part of my journey. Second, I believe by being transparent, I can minimize the shame I feel around it. Third, I want to be a voice for anyone who may be struggling with an eating disorder. You are not alone. For those of you who may not know a lot about eating disorders, there are many different kinds and the severity of them differs. However, they truly negatively impact one's mind and body. As an elite athlete, I felt it was vital to stop the damage it was doing to my body and mind by seeking help. I love gymnastics, college, Stanford, Go Cardinals, and my entire support system. I am blown away at how many people, including my family, friends, coaches, and staff, have rallied behind me, and I will forever be grateful. I look forward to getting to relish all of this and more as I overcome my eating disorder.
And if Selena Harris wrote that exact same statement, y'all would be calling her a liar? Y'all would be like, why is she eating all the food at UCLA and throwing it up? Y'all hate Selena Harris that much? I'm just joking.
Oh, that is such a strange reaction. Wow.
I know.
What?
I know.
I don't think that's even true.
I know. Yeah, well, no. I think
it's pretty common in gymnastics, so I'm not shocked by this. The thing is a lot of those type of things have been under, people wouldn't speak out about it. So I'm glad she's at a place that supports her.
Me too.
I'm glad that they, the institution, the school was allowed to, let her come out with this. Because I know a lot of people try to date, Bailey Ferrer at LSU kind of went through similar things, but it didn't come out until afterwards. And that was when she started coming out with it. It's not like she put a statement out at LSU. So good for them. I hope she
and it's not necessary for anyone to put it out, but it is. Yeah. I totally agree with everything else you said, and I think it's very brave, and I'm glad Stanford seems to be showing their support for her decision and her decision to redshirt and to speak out. They reposted with a supportive message.
Stanford is one of the best schools in the country, academic wise. So hopefully, they have all the support that she needs. And I mean, if she needs the red shirt, she needs the red shirt. If not,
it's not the end of the world, and her health should be the priority.
Right. I got a really weird question, and I hope I'm not asking this question in a fucked up way, because it came to my mind.
As long as you're not trying to be insulting by asking me.
I'm not trying to be insulting, but it might come off a little bit insulting, but I'm not trying to be.
Good to know. Bring it on.
Do y'all think eating disorders? Okay, because there was a point in gymnastics where the girls weren't doing the most difficulty. It was about being perfect, right? Mm-hmm. And then in those days in gymnastics, perfect was little, light. They really didn't care about your power as long as you was able to get the trick around being little and light, right? So in this modern era of gymnastics, where it's about power and strength and doing the hardest things that you can possibly do, are eating disorders in gymnastics kind of not a thing of the past, just not the smartest route in this current era of gymnastics, because having an eating disorder makes you weaker. And back in the days, they did not care about your power as long as it was perfect. And now,
I need to push back on something you said. I know I'm interrupting you, but it was never a smart route or however you worded it, to have an eating disorder.
Never. Smart is not. It's never right. Winning or
lots of high-level elite athletes have spoken out about their experiences with eating disorder and how it actually negatively impacted their career. Mm-hmm. They didn't have the power to complete their routines like they used to.
Correct. So what I'm trying to ask is, especially now, like how the little girls, like if you watch any of the old gymnastics movies, like almost all of them seem like their first thing was like, oh, okay, I want to learn how to do a double back. Okay, let me lose weight. Whereas
that's what I was about to say. Weight is the big thing when it comes to eating disorders in gymnastics. Mm-hmm. The lighter you are, the better you are. And it's a direct, it doesn't correlate with it because you have to be strong and mentally.
Right, that's what I'm trying to
say. Prepared to do the gymnastics, but when you're constantly constantly getting those weigh-ins, that they so famously used to talk about, then, it's different type of eating disorders. It's anorexia, it's bulimia, some of the gymnasts, I remember some of those stories about, going make themselves throw up, that is not a normal behavior.
That would be bulimia, I believe.
So, when you so scared that you have to weigh in, or you might not be able to be picked for this assignment, So what's the quickest way to lose some weight?
Because right or wrong, the coaches were prioritizing being as light as possible. It doesn't mean that they were right. That's just what they thought was right.
Yes.
Correct. I guess my question is, and I guess it's like y'all helping me because I guess this question is directed towards the coaches, not the athlete. But the question is, with this new era of gymnastics, is lighter is the best strategy? Because from just me as a fan, it seems like when the girls are A, older, B, heavier, their gymnastics improve versus the little light girls.
Do you see how you're implying the way you worded that even when the difficulty was lower in the 90s or 80s, it wasn't it wasn't a good route for achieving success to try to weigh as little as possible through the means of an eating disordered eating?
I mean just period. It's the smarter strategy now is the light. It seems like the athletes, like, okay, China and Romania are two teams that still pick the smaller, lighter built athletes. And both of those programs are struggling because that body type doesn't work in my opinion, doesn't work anymore for this current era of gymnastics.
No, it doesn't for the elite world. Definitely not. But when it comes to NCAA, that's why you see less difficulty. That's why you see the 2 tumbling passes, because those girls are getting upper. Their ages, like we said, have changed. Their body types have changed. They're going through. They're growing. Of course, they've hit puberty already, but at 17, most of the time, a lot of them are coming in college at 17 or 18. When you get to 21, 3 years later, you're going to be heavier. So that's why we see the lack of the difficulty. But when it comes to the elite, like you said, China has always struggled on vault and bars. I mean, vault and floor. And
I just think that's purely because they pick a certain body type, which lends itself to that lighter.
Because you got to look at it like a person like Chun Fei. She was a lot bigger.
Chun Fei is one of the only girls that they ever picked that was not the traditional Chinese body type, and she just was their best vaulter and best floor worker because they did not pick that body type. But the thing is, watching the Chinese gymnastics meet, that's what I was about to say. Give me a second. Watching the Chinese elite meet, they do have other girls currently with that Chun Fei body type. They just purposely ignore them girls or push them to the side for the little lighter bar beam worker. And Romania is another example of always picking
who's over
smaller, lighter gymnasts when I don't get.
What'd you say, Shayna?
Who's over the Chinese program now?
Who's better than them, you mean?
Who's over their program now? Isn't it, what's his name?
Who's running it?
Yeah.
Oh. I don't actually know.
What isn't Gabby and
No, Chow does not coach anymore.
Oh, he's
not the head coach.
They ran him out of China. They ran him the fuck out of China.
Because maybe he wanted to. That's what I was saying. Because I thought he was still there. Because he maybe wanted to implement what worked for him over here in the States. And them Chinese said, "The hell no, get the fuck."
I'm not 1,000% certain, but I'm pretty sure that he is not in charge anymore.
Because look what that did.
I'm pretty
look
sure.
What that did for them. And
I'm pretty
still
sure
by helping the Chinese. I mean,
I don't think he was in charge very long over there. I think he was just in charge for like a year, and it was like, oh no, this ain't for the work. Bye.
I think it was the Tokyo quad.
Because they was like non-existent. Did they even win a medal in Tokyo?
No, they had a meltdown in Tokyo, but they won gold and silver on the balance beam.
They've always been known to have meltdowns and team and all-around competitions, but they always have like 1 or 2 bar beam people that are kind of relevant, you know.
Kind of relevant. They're being Olympic champions.
Well,
sell them short.
Yeah. But do you feel like, going back to the questions about eating disorders, I understand that the girls are going to feel the way they feel about however, but with the encouragement of, if the coaches were to encourage the girl, you know what, you do want to learn to double back. Instead of let's lose and weight, let's try to build muscle to get your muscle strength right for the skill. Do you think if it was a different mindset from different programs, some of that eating disorder stuff would kind of evaporate from gymnastics, because they're going to make the girls realize that, okay, you're going to need every bit of strength to do this hard-ass floor routine that I'm trying to compose for you. So we ain't got time for no damn eating disorder, because, that's a lot of tumbling in this routine. Like, is it ever going to get to that mindset with some of the coaches and some of the gymnasts? Or
I can see how it would potentially reduce the amount, but I don't see how anyone, not just us four, but anyone could say for sure. Something I will say though is I definitely am not convinced that there are less eating disorders today than there were in the past. And also I would push back on the idea that now it's still do as much difficulty as you can. I feel like you have the perfection era, you have the do as much difficulty as you can era, and now I feel like we've been in a third era ever since a new era that I'm not sure what we should call it, since Simone Biles won 3 world champion titles back to back and the Olympics. I think since 2017, when they started hammering the girls on e-scores and no one was getting an 8 e-score, no one was getting a 14. I feel like that's marked the beginning of this new era for me. What do you think about that? Of course, there are exceptions. The code of points is so flawed, but I don't think that you're just because you have the most difficulty, you're not going to win necessarily. I mean, we saw that in the floor final at Paris, for instance.
Really, that's how you feel about that floor final in Paris?
As I said it, I was like, oh, it's not a perfect example because it would be a perfect example if Simone had lost but stayed in bounds. So I'm trying to think of a better example. But I do feel that way about the era, that we're in a third era. Maybe I'm wrong about it only being 2 eras prior to 2017, but I feel like 2017 marked the beginning of a new era from 2016 and before. Maybe 2016 through the Open Code, so 2005. Does that sound right?
Yeah.
Here's the messy thing that I was going to say that I'm prepared for people to give me hate and criticism for, because it's unnecessary and it's messy. And like, what is the point of bringing this up? But notice how in Levi's letter, she said that her eating disorder. Let me not put words in her mouth. What did she say?
She struggled with an eating disorder prior to going to Stanford and prior to going to WOGA.
That's what I struggled with an eating disorder prior to my time at WOGA and Stanford. Where was Levi before WOGA?
I have no idea about Levi's career like that.
Levi was at Twin City Twisters with Sarah Jancy, Grace McCallum, and Maggie Nichols as coach. Now, that does not mean that they are responsible for her.
What you're implying is Sarah's up there giving the girls eating disorders. That's what you're implying.
I was just about to say that's not what I'm saying, but it does. Why not say before Twin City Twisters?
Oh,
you know, it's easy enough. You had the time to write WOGA.
All right, I'm back, y'all.
Did you miss my messiness or did you hear?
I missed. I had to go use the restroom.
Maybe that's for the best.
I know we were talking about eating disorders, but what was the question?
I don't feel like repeating that. It was too messy.
Don't be scared now, Oscar.
Well, it exists. It's on the internet. You can go and listen after the show.
But
I mean, eating disorders, that's always been a thing in gymnastics. So, you know, this new stuff about sexual abuse and stuff, all this stuff is like new, but eating disorders has always been a thing.
The sexual abuse stuff is, to be honest, I've heard about the sexual abuse stuff before I heard about
Wait, you said it was new, Shayna? I didn't hear that.
Well, before, the Larry Nassar stuff, I never knew about sexual abuse. I always knew about
other. So you don't know who
but
Don
Peters
is.
That doesn't mean it's new.
Hold on,
just because you didn't hear.
Hold on, you don't know who Don Peters is, then, Shayna?
That's at the old people, the Strausses, huh?
No, that was Kathy Johnson's coach.
That was Kathy Johnson's coach. But yeah, he was an older coach. But yes, he was very famously prosecuted for having sex with his athletes, very publicly.
What? I never knew.
Very publicly.
Well, see, that was before that time of elite. I didn't know about
this
that kind of stuff.
This is why
he was the head coach of the U.S. National Artistic Gymnastics team, and he
was Marta Karolyi.
He was the head coach at the 1984 Los Angeles Summer Olympics. Okay. In 2011, Peters was banned for life by USA Gymnastics after allegations surfaced that he had sexually assaulted. This says 3 teenage gymnasts, but we all know it was more than that.
Let me see how this man looked.
Don Peters. If you remember the 1988 Olympics, that might have been a little bit.
I'm trying to remember who else he coached.
Him and Bella Karolyi had a very, very public feud because I think in 1987 at Worlds, they named Don Peters as the head coach of that team. And Bella was so mad that he just didn't even go. He sent his girls and he stayed home. And ever since then, they never tried Bella like that again. So, yeah, I mean, the thing is with Larry Nassar that, again, I just ask the people who's watching to go back and, even if it's not like, this is a very uncomfortable subject to research, but like for USA Gymnastics to act like this was just some brand new thing that they were just so, oh my God, we just can't believe a doctor was doing, like, no, he's not the first. He's not the only. I mean, it's been going on with USA Gymnastics for a while.
I'm sure we all know, Don Peters was not the first.
I'm talking about Larry Nassar was not the first. When, like, people feel
I know, but I'm also saying I don't think Don Peters was the first either.
Oh, absolutely not.
We kind of then switched over to that. What? How long did Anna Lee get suspended for? And what did they find?
9 months. It's a joke.
What?
That's it. And I think her parents got suspended for 16 months at the most.
I think the mother. I don't think the father was even investigated.
The father did not get charged with anything, and the mother was suspended for a year, I believe. Mind you, the investigation took 4.5 years.
So Don Peters, I'm reading, he was suspended for life.
He's banned. That's not a suspension.
Yeah, he can't go to no USA Gymnastics meets. He can't be acknowledged. I think if he was in the Hall of Fame, they kicked him out.
It was another coach at the Strausses, Bill and Donna Straus's gym too, that they found.
I believe it. I'm not sure who you're talking about though.
I don't remember his name either because I didn't know the individual coaches. But yeah, because what was the name of their gym?
Parkettes,
yeah. So I've always known about abuse happening. I just never knew it was the extent of the sexual stuff.
Oh yeah, USA Gymnastics started going on. But that goes back to
And then it's kind of crazy because it's like those parents and to an extent the coaches putting that time and effort and energy into these children, but it's like I would not want my child in gymnastics.
That's why so many
shut up the place. I'm sorry, not my child.
That's why so many elite athletes don't let their children compete.
Yeah, the former, Shawn Johnson. I think Vanessa Adler has children now. Alicia just had her fifth. I mean, are y'all going to be putting y'all children in gymnastics?
A lot of them don't. A lot of them don't.
And then, I've heard things about Mary Lee Tracy. And then you look at Amanda Borden, and her daughter will be at Alabama next year. So it's like, I understand that, like, you can have brothers and sisters, and we all live in the same house and have different recollection of things and how we were treated. So I know everyone's experience isn't the same.
Definitely not.
To see how my mouth set up, you couldn't have messed with me in any kind of way. Ain't nobody was finna. I'm sorry. I don't care what was the status quo. My mother always taught us to speak our mind, and if something didn't feel right, to say something. We were just always taught that. And I don't know if that's just different cultures. Even when I grew up playing sports, don't never let nobody, follow anybody into doing nothing wrong. And if somebody's mistreating you, to say something. Sexually, physically, anything, even family members. So, those type of things, those type of lessons and teaching start from home. And,
They do, and I'm glad your mom taught you those things.
Yeah, because
I don't think it's fair to put all the responsibility on the parents.
I do
too.
Okay.
Because your parents are the ones that have your best interests at hand, not your culture.
Yeah, but if your parents aren't there 24/7, there's a limit to what they can do.
No, but what I'm saying is the teaching too, a goal of a parent is for you to raise your child to be able to make the best decisions in life, because the parent is not going to always be here. So when you're not in my presence, I need you to have my teachings and my wherewithal to understand if something doesn't feel right, to go get help, to say something.
And I think you can know all the right things to do and still end up in situations of abuse.
Correct, but not in an abusive situation to where you're spending money and doing something because you want to do it, not because you have to do it. Going to a gymnastics practice.
The thing is, this is why I do kind of blame the parents in a lot of these situations, is because so many of the gymnasts.
Me too, to be clear.
So many of the gymnasts, in hindsight, will sit there and tell you, they never will blame their parents, but they would be like their parents kind of pushed them into the sport.
Mm-hmm.
And we see so many gymnastics moms and gymnastics dads who they're more into gymnastics than the actual child is. The child could care less. And it feels like, especially with Larry Nassar, with a lot of the parents, I'm not going to say they knew what was going on, but they had a willful blind eye. A very willful blind eye. A very don't ask, don't tell mentality to their own child's gymnastics. I mean, not to throw certain parents under the bus, but parents were signing whole doctor's notes to have surgeries on their kids and not even knowing what the surgeries was for. Then going back in time and trying to sue coaches, and the coaches was like, well, bitch, you signed off on this stuff. What do you mean?
Yeah.
It's a lot of, it's just like with the dance mom culture. Like watching that dance mom show, even though I hate it, you can really see that those women were a lot of the time very willfully ignorant to a lot of the stuff. They love to scream, oh, I didn't know that this was going on. But yeah, you didn't know because you purposely chose not to know. You purposely chose to believe instead of trusting in your child. Like it's a lot of willful ignorance, and I think that's why jumping subjects. A lot of the stuff that goes on in gymnastics goes on because the parents are willfully ignorant to a lot of the stuff. They purposely try not to know. They purposely. Oh no, Ezra. Okay, we've been talking so long. Sorry, Ezra, come back.
Because that's what I'm saying. Like, you know, that's like me growing up playing basketball, playing volleyball. If we were in an organization that, you know, yes, I heard they were the best coaches, and they're the ones that are going to get me to be able to go get a scholarship to LSU to play college football. So probably I can maybe one day be in the NBA, WNBA, go to the Olympic type situation. If I get there and something doesn't seem right, my parent is the first person I'm going to tell. I grew up as a child going into sports. My mother was a great basketball player. My father was a great football player. They came from sports. So they had some type of understanding and knowledge to, you know, even though we're not directly affiliated with you doing this with this coach at this agency, we understand abuse. And that can happen anywhere. And those children were groomed to just shut up and take it.
And the sad part is, okay, it's not even that. The thing why I blame the parents of some of the parents, because, you know, I'm good friends with Tiki, and I talk to Tiki about this stuff a lot. And yes, Darion never was on the elite national teams or whatever, but I know from Tiki, just even talking to Tiki about the parents at Auburn, some of them, they just are so, they're too hands off for their daughters to be so young, in my opinion. Like, they just say yes to anything just because somebody tells them this is what they need to do to invest, and they don't go out of their way to be like research or to ask other people, because I can't ask this other parent because their competition, they're trying to get my daughter scholarship, and I done paid all this money. Like, it's just a lot. It's just the culture of gymnastics, and I used to think it was a USA thing, but it's not. It's a culture thing. It's so, it's a very grooming culture.
And I think that's why a lot of those people don't like Gabby, because I feel like Gabby mama didn't play that shit.
I can 100% see that.
Being outspoken, you know, saying how you feel, because at the end of the day, you know, for the people, I don't have a child, yes, but I have friends and family members and nieces and nephews and children just in spots that I don't give a damn how much money I'm paying you for a fee or service to coach my daughter or son. At the end of the day, you are just that, a teacher at a school or a coach in a sport. That's my motherfucking child.
And I feel like that's not the dynamic that it is. It's more so and I'm not sure if the Carolis necessarily started this, but they damn sure made it a thing. Like, they expect the parents to just give them their children and be like, here's my child, this great gymnast, raise them for me. And so many of the parents, they just do that shit.
Gullible.
I don't know why, but they just do it. I don't know why. Maybe it's just they are naive, or they just don't know any better, or that's what they think they're supposed to do, or
why is it that you can go and watch an open basketball practice or football practice, but you can't watch an open gymnastics practice with my 7, 8, 9, 10-year-old?
I never understood
that. Does not make sense to me,
like,
because something's not right about that.
I don't understand why. Okay, if USA Gymnastics can pay for all of these coaches and doctors, why can't they pay for my child, me, to come to this country to watch my child? Like, why do I have to now send my child across the world with people I don't know that I have to trust? And if I complained about it, y'all just gonna stop picking her for teams. And that's the great, like, and it's not like I'm just telling the parents, like, but that's the great thing. Like, the parents are so afraid that if they do anything, USA Gymnastics is gonna just stop picking their daughters for teams.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like they feel trapped. Like, okay, I invested all this money to get her here. Now that I got her here, USA Gymnastics is like, give her to us. And go ahead.
No, I want you to finish, and then I want to play devil's advocate for a second, if you're okay with that.
Sure. Why do I have to give you my whole child? Why can't I just give you her gymnastics talent and y'all raise her talent in gymnastics? But why do I have to give up my whole responsibilities and right as a parent? But the second she do something wrong, y'all gonna blame me and be like, well, you're her parent.
Because Nisha saying her aunt asked her about the secluded ranch, when they had to be secluded at the ranches and why the parents couldn't go in. And from what y'all can correct me because y'all more astute to the gymnastics, the elite prospect, but it was to what? So the children wouldn't get sidetracked and would stay more focused on trying to make these teams, is why they didn't want the parents involved as much or around? Or was it for them to keep the abuse, not seen? Continuing to let these young people train and compete and work out on injuries that can affect them for the rest of their lives.
I'm sure it was. I think you're right.
But look at the way the Crawleys modeled their ranch after the Deva Institute in Romania, which they built. And that's literally what they used to do in Romania. They used to go to all the little villages and all the little places in all the cities. They would find the best girls and they would be like, okay, your daughter is a very talented gymnast. Give her to me. I'm going to bring her to Deva. You're never going to see her again until she's an adult.
Yeah. Because when you're on assignment for your country, you're literally performing for your country. So you're like a service person. So I understand that aspect of it, but it's still at the end of the day when children
Except you're not. It's so funny because there are other countries where you're like part of the military or whatever. You're serving your country. You're paid. Germany. Italy.
Well, maybe just not here, but a lot of those European countries, yeah. And you hear the stories about when they were taken from their parents to go live in Deva.
Well, that's one side of it. I just meant if you're gonna I was making a pretty crude remark actually. If you're going to go through that, they should at least be treated as such or given the benefits that the other countries give their athletes.
And I understand it's a big, responsibility, and a lot of parents and family, they sacrifice a lot. A lot of them, the mom and the gymnast would move and leave the dad and the siblings at their natural home to go train with the ends of the ends coach. But when it comes to the abuse, y'all, and for that man to be in those rooms, in the different rooms, and doing that to those young girls, I don't give a damn
boys.
Who my child is. At the end of the day, that is a medical thing, and they are not of age to know what you're talking about. And for y'all to have these closed door exams or have the in the same room, from some of those testimonies that the parent was right there.
Mm-hmm.
That culture was completely not conducive for people being able to speak up. If your mother is in this room while this man is putting his finger up me, that's a big ass problem, y'all.
Can I take it one step further, then we can change subjects? Another part of the problem is that gymnastics target these very religious, these very conservative communities for these groups of talents that they choose to pick from. And it's absolutely grooming because they purposely pick, it seems to me, my personal opinion, it seems like they purposely pick gymnasts that come from very conservative religious backgrounds that are a little bit naive to certain things. And when I say naive, I mean even their parents are kind of naive to certain things. So they just don't even expect that things like this is even possible in the world. And that's another reason why I don't think gymnastics as a whole leans into the gay fan base and into things that I think they should do to make the sport more popular, because the group of athletes that they purposely pick from is a very conservative group.
Mm-hmm.
Like with Gabby.
But what do you mean by pick from?
It just feels like to me that they purposely not promote athletes that come from a very religious, conservative, small city. It's very rare for you to hear a very successful, famous gymnast that come from a New York or Miami where they're hip to some shit in life. Like most of the times you hear them that come from Iowa or backwood Georgia somewhere or something like that, or
Texas.
Or
Middle America, basically.
Where they were, even the parents are a little slow to modern life. Like you hear a lot of the gymnasts, their parents are farmers. So maybe their parents, this is 2025, but still maybe they're not like the best at the internet. And
like when I'm picturing what you're saying, I'm picturing like the Mormon type of living. And they were already pretty much either wasn't in school or homeschooled already.
I don't think that's exactly that's not what I picture, at least.
She said a little slow to the internet.
Again, the person I was thinking of is Michaela Skinner. Like how her coaches could tell her anything and she would never even Google to see if it was true or not. She would just believe it. Like she really sat up there and thought she was doing one of the hardest bar routines in the world, and she really wasn't, because that's what her coaches were telling her. She's really sat up there and thought that certain skills was ranked way higher than they were, because that's just what her coaches was telling her, and she just believed it and never even thought to question it because those were her coaches. And that's what I'm talking about. That kind of grooming.
That's naive as hell.
But again, her parents come from Fucktown, Ohio or Utah or wherever the hell her parents come from. Or Arizona. They just didn't know no better. Like, and I think that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like USA Gymnastics purposely pick people who don't know no better.
People who aren't gonna push back and cause problems for the administration.
Correct.
But do y'all feel, because they didn't have like a national, like they had a head person in name, but they weren't doing the the training centers like as a whole to meet up across the country until what, 2000? After the.
What's your question?
I'm saying, do y'all think that enhanced the abuse when they changed it to that and Marta and Bella became so popular and changed the way how USA Gym did things? Or it was just as bad before that?
I think it was just as bad before that, but I actually think the National Training Center is the thing that ended the abuse, actually. Or began the process of ending the abuse, because
Larry started in private practice, right? And at Michigan State, correct?
Larry actually was Michigan State's doctor and the private doctor of the gym that Jordan Weaver went to. So
the Gettards. Okay.
So what I feel like is that a lot of abuse was going on a very local, private level in these gyms. Once they started going to the national team training camp system, it kind of exposed the coaches, because they was taking their gym practices and still bringing it to the training center for everybody to see. So I think when the culture was
like,
at first, it was cool. But over time, as the culture evolved, the gymnast was like, what, this isn't right. And plus, I see this coach, and this coach doesn't do all of this, and their athletes are still successful. Why the hell am I sitting up here putting up with your bullshit when I can see this coach, and I can see this coach winning world medals, and they're not yelling and screaming at their damn athletes like you're carrying on? And I think that also helped to change the culture of when they did the national training camps. People could see different people's technique. People could see the way certain coaches was training versus certain coaches. I even heard like some coaches would be like, damn, like you're doing too much, sir. Like, or ma'am, you're doing too much. Like, chill out. That's still a child. And I think it helped to expose a lot. I'm not going to say it helped to end their abuse, but I would definitely think the national training camps helped to expose the abuse.
Because it grew.
See that. I agree with that.
I agree. Now that I look, that's why I asked the question, because y'all are a little more in depth when it comes to how Elite World navigated, and then when everyone is separated and in their own states doing their own thing, that's real individualized. And then when you get to a national training camp for an abuser like a Larry, you have all these gymnasts in one place and time.
Yeah, like logistically, I think that actually did increase it. I would have imagined that it did increase the abuse from people like Nassar, but that's different from comparing the coaches and that being the beginning of a chain reaction that took like 20 years plus. But having all the athletes be together, that probably
and that's another thing, because
enabling Nassar's abuse.
That's another thing, absolutely, because in the 90s up until the training camps, all the athletes looked at each other as competition. They weren't friends. They hated each other. Like, I had to beat you to make it to the Olympic team. Now that we're at the Olympics together, we're cool, but the whole process, like, we were enemies. We weren't teammates. And what I think what the national team training camp helped establish was a friendship between the girls. Like, the girls actually started talking to each other.
Yeah.
And started cheering for each other. So then now it became, wait, your coach does this to you? Wait, were you here when Larry did?
That's what Kalia Lincoln was just talking about at the press conference she just did after, I think it was Monday.
What?
Yeah, about just coming from elite to college. You know, that's still a big thing for a lot of these girls.
Wait, you need to be more clear. What was she talking about? It makes you.
She was talking.
We were just talking about Larry Nassar, and then we go to Kalia Lincoln.
But Michaela was talking about, you know, when you
camaraderie,
the camaraderie, and the girls are, you know, when they were separated compared to being in, you know, a training camp together. They have more camaraderie. You know, they're used to being separated against each other to make these assignments and world championships. And it still happens to this day because now you have elite level gymnasts leaving elite scene and going to college. So I
need to listen to that because that's very interesting to hear. Yeah, it's nothing new to hear the girls talk about how they love having a team in college, but to actually, if she actually was dissing USA Gymnastics in the year 2025 and on that criteria,
she wasn't.
That's interesting because they put up such a facade that everything is peachy and the girls they all get along, you know?
Yeah, go watch it. I think it's on YouTube.
We all know that even though it's more camaraderie, there's still different cliques and stuff like, you know, I heard rumors that certain gymnasts don't like other certain gymnasts. Like, I've heard that, but
of course,
but
I think that's gonna like everyone.
That's just kind of human nature thing. That's everything.
I do feel like at the end of the day, it's more, and I think it's the girls too. I don't think the coaches care one way or another. I think it's more important for the girls to publicly make it seem like they all get along than I don't think them girls in the 90s really gave a damn. Like, I don't think Kerri Strug ever gave a damn if Dominique Dawes cared about her one way or another. Where I think nowadays, I think even if they don't like each other publicly, they still would put on the persona for the public that they were good friends.
Did you know, like that photo of Suni, Gabrielle, and Simone?
Mm-hmm.
Meanwhile, Gabrielle is the only teammate from the Rio Olympics that Simone does not follow on Instagram.
It looked forced to you?
I didn't say that. I didn't say that.
Oscar, you cannot be halfway messy, halfway scary. You cannot. That does not work for me. You have to be one or the other. Does it look? Did that photo look forced to you with them three?
I'll say this. I think the most forced expression of the three was Gabrielle's.
Mm-hmm. So it was like, y'all have to do this for, you know, the storyline for NBC and the next the Olympics, and having all the last three Olympic champions all in one arena.
Who knows, Shayna? Who knows? You and your narratives.
Believe me, everything is a business. Everything is a business.
Think that's probably what it was. I think Gabby was like, let me make sure my sponsorships are in order.
Nisha, you don't like Simone?
No, Nisha really is not a Simone.
I have never been a big fan of her either when it came to just how she speaks, you know.
And Michaela wants her to retire. Everyone hates Simone. It's so sad.
Because she's so good.
Because she's so dominant. It's boring for a lot of people.
That's what I stopped loving, you know, Elite. It was so, that 2012 year was like, we don't know who the hell gonna win. It could be Simone, it could be Jordan, it could be
Simone
Victoria. I mean, Gabby, it could be Victoria, it could be Jordan. And then here you come Allie Raisman that stopped all that shit and was like, hell no, don't forget about me.
That's what it was
fun. Aaliyah didn't have the vault to be able to compete with those girls.
Yet she beat Allie.
Wait, they both was told up in that final though. Could have went either way.
But don't say Ali's name before you say Aaliyah's name.
I just never. Once Aaliyah tore that ACL, I felt like it was over with for her on the leg events, and then it's like her form just deteriorated over the years. She wasn't finna beat Gabby or Victoria, but you know, Aaliyah wasn't.
But she beat Jordan.
Well, Jordan didn't make it.
I'm just saying, don't say Jordan Weber and Ali Raisman, but not Aaliyah Mustafa.
I love Aaliyah, but it was like.
Do you? I'm not convinced you like Aaliyah or who were you talking about? Selena Harris, Miranda? I'm not convinced. I'm not buying it.
Aaliyah is my second favorite Russian gymnast of all time. But I'm a realist also. It was no way she was going to win.
No.
But I'm just saying.
I never said she was going to win. I'm just saying she deserves to be in that list of names.
It was close to you didn't know who was going to win out of.
Ali Raisman? You thought Ali Raisman was going to win?
No, but
So why did you say her but not Aaliyah?
The point is, I'm saying was you don't know who was going to win. Because Jordan was supposed to be the girl, and she got bumped out by her teammate. It had nothing to do with Aaliyah. It was just the fact that you never know who was going to win that Olympics. And that has what changed over the years with a Simone Biles being so dominant. You already know who's going to win. Everybody.
That's why the Tokyo Olympic all-around final was so fabulous.
Yeah, it was. But you know, once Simone came back, it was over with. It was like, if Simone is the regular Simone, no one is going to come close.
Oh, I glued this wig on good today. So you guys, I know we've been all over the place. This is partially my fault because that's just how. It snowed in Florida. Forgive me. I'm not even going to. Fuck y'all. Fuck y'all. Y'all lucky I gave y'all a fucking show today. It snowed in Florida. It snowed in Florida. Oh shit. I'm so sorry, Nisha. That's not what I was trying to say.
It snowed in Louisiana. We got like 7 or 8 inches.
Oh my god.
Wow, that's more than it was in New York.
And look at Oscar, his New York ass like, what the fuck y'all talking about? No, that's not even a lot of.
But we didn't even get 7 or 8 inches. We got like 5 inches.
Yeah, it was terrible. Everything is just starting to open back.
They got like 5 inches of snow. Like in Tallahassee, you know how I was saying like before we did Monday show, it was supposed to be a half an inch. We actually got like 3 inches of snow.
Did you do anything in the snow?
Hell no. Hell fuck no.
I didn't either. Like why?
Because it's fun and it's pretty.
Hell no. For me to
I'm not young. What do you want me to do? Slip and fall and break a leg? Like I'm not young.
Didn't you say that's the first time you've seen snow though?
It was amazing. It was really I'm tripping, but it really was a beautiful, beautiful experience to have.
Mm-hmm. You should have made a snow angel.
No.
Build a snowman.
And they're talking about it's a possibility on the 2nd or 3rd that we might get another winter storm and it might snow again.
Oh Lord.
Ooh, God willing.
It's snowing here in the South, but it's burning up in California. Like, my God.
Wouldn't it be a great thing if our president, instead of trying to change things that have been in existence forever, like, you know, the Gulf of Mexico to the Gulf of America, you know, try to get some of this snow from the South over in California. I'm pretty sure that would put out some of the wildfires. I mean,
oh my goodness, you spoke on the president. My God, today.
I just never understood why they could never build like some kind of river or river system, because over here in the East Coast, we get so much water, like it's always flooded out. And over there in the West Coast, they never have water. Why can't they just build some system to, not drain. What is it called? Make the water flow over to the West Coast. I'm pretty sure they could make a man-made river to the West Coast.
I'm sure they could. That's just, they have to reallocate the money, change the budget.
They got all that money.
let's stop going. Okay, so everybody, I want to talk about Trump for a second because I feel like it's important. But I want to finish talking about gymnastics first. Well, not necessarily first, but scatterbrain. But what I want to do is, I think we started doing this earlier, but I want to go back and let you all know what meets are happening this weekend, so we can tell y'all. Oh shit, it's a meet coming on tonight. I wonder if Alex Addicts is for the streaming. So the first meet of this weekend is tonight. Greenville versus Alaska.
Never heard of
Then tomorrow at 5 p.m. we have Temple at William Mary. We have
That's
tomorrow. Kirsten Johnson will be there, so you may want to watch that. Then we have Friday at 6 p.m. We have Rutgers versus Penn State.
Can anyone explain to me? Kirsten Johnson is a national champion, right?
In her division, not in the NCAA.
She won the vault, didn't she, for Talladega last year?
But not in the NCAA in whatever division they were at.
Okay.
The NCAA is only for Division I schools?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Wait, she's not in the NCAA?
Now.
She is now.
She wasn't last year.
Those, but
Not
any if you're in you have what?
Okay, they're all okay. I'm so sorry. It's all NCAA gymnastics, but it's not Division I of NCAA. It's Division III, which is
so it's less impressive.
What is it USAG or something?
Yeah, we talked about it last show. It's the same thing that Fisk gets in and all them other girls.
Okay.
All them other girls.
People were trying to diminish her accomplishments when they were saying, well, they were like, she's a national champion.
Yeah. And people
they were like, well.
When some people can't even run 2 yards. So it's like just hating.
So at 6:30, we have a big one. We have Georgia at Florida, which should be cute. Florida for the whoop their ass.
I want Georgia to beat them at home so bad.
Never gonna happen. So then, at the same time, we have Michigan State at Ohio State.
That's one I'll be watching.
Michigan State should dominate their ass.
They better.
I like Ohio State, though. They have some good gymnasts on that team. Y'all should watch them meet.
Then Friday, we have at 7, we have a bunch of smaller meets. We have Illinois State versus Northern Illinois. And then also we have, I don't even know how to pronounce that name of that school.
Can you spell it?
Lacrosse or lacrosse?
Spell it, baby.
Gustavus Adolphus at Winona State.
Which one? You just said like 5 of them.
That's
3 different schools.
Those are the schools.
Oh, you're reading it, Shayna. Okay.
Yeah.
And then at 7, also we have NC State at North Carolina.
Mm-hmm.
Why does Carolina got 2 gymnastics schools, bitch? Also Friday at 7, we have UW Eclair versus UW
Oshkosh.
I guess that's University of Washington Eclair versus University of Washington Oshkosh.
Mm-hmm.
Which, why does the fucking Washington have so many gymnastics schools? Also, we have University of Washington Strauss at Amline, which I've never heard none of these people.
They must be Division II teams.
All of these schools are different divisions, right?
Mm-hmm.
I assume so.
Would it be rude if we, from now on, just read the Division I school?
And all their meets are free, so maybe they might show some good gymnastics. You know,
which ones are free?
All those
8 o'clock, which
she just mentioned.
Oh, but we're not going to talk about them. Okay, it's good what we're doing. It's good what we're doing. Not. It's good to read them all.
Then at 8 o'clock, we have the big one, which I'm pretty sure is going to be the highlight meet of the night, which is going to be LSU at Arkansas.
Ooh! That's going to be so fun.
Also at 8 o'clock, we have Simpson at Iowa State.
Simpson, not Clemson?
Simpson.
And Simpson.
And then also at 8 o'clock, which is another big one. Hold on.
Where's Simpson?
LSU Arkansas. You may not get watched by me because the big one
Let me guess.
Be Oklahoma.
Oh, okay. Is it UCLA versus Oklahoma?
Oklahoma at Alabama.
What? You'd rather watch that?
Also at 8 o'clock.
Why would you rather watch that?
I think that's going to be more interesting than LSU at Arkansas.
You think it'll be closer?
LSU. I think Alabama might. I don't think they're going to beat Oklahoma, but they might give them a run for their money.
I think you're going to be shocked. Arkansas. We were speaking of this earlier when you were busy. LSU always struggles against Arkansas at Arkansas. I think it's going to be a lot closer if LSU doesn't have a proper meet that they can have.
But Shayna, LSU has never won a national title until now.
Well, yeah, but based off history, I think
have a newfound confidence.
I think Arkansas can beat LSU. I don't think Alabama can beat Oklahoma.
Where is the Alabama OU one taking place?
In Bama.
At Alabama.
Okay.
And that's no hate for my Tigers, but they always one or two away meets every season they lose.
Oh, trust. We know you're not hating on the Tigers.
They lose some of them. In Arkansas, Missouri, Florida, those are the teams that they usually lose to when they go on the road.
And then, and then Friday, we still have meets to come because Friday at 9 o'clock, we have Utah State at Air Force. And then we have Utah at BYU.
Okay.
I'm going to try to watch that one.
Then we have another big one. I think this is one y'all should watch.
Mm-hmm.
At 9:30 on Friday, we have Oregon State at Auburn. Which that's a pretty evenly matched.
Auburn better. I think Oregon better win.
I think Oregon State actually have the advantage. And that's the last meet on Friday night is Oregon State at Auburn.
Let's be honest. Can Oregon State duplicate a 197.6 away from Corvallis, Oregon?
No.
Hell no.
Can Auburn not fall at home? And
they haven't
fallen at home. I think Auburn could beat OSU counting a fall.
I think Auburn is. I think
counting a fall.
Wow. I think Auburn is going to win this meet.
Let's revisit this on Monday and see who.
I don't remember. Did we do a show on Monday?
Yeah, we did it
late as hell.
Was it just you two, or was it all three of us?
It was just us two. You came for like 2 seconds and then disappeared.
Okay. Did you?
No, that was no. We didn't do a show last Thursday, and me and Shayna did it Friday night. But we all did a show Monday, I think.
Did we do? Oh, we did our SEC rankings, and we all pretty much agreed. Urza wasn't there, but then you never posted them.
Oh yeah, because
Oscar, you was off from
us. Blaming that on the snow.
Is it too late? Can you post them tonight?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna do it.
Can you do it tomorrow?
I don't have no energy. But tomorrow is the next.
It's a new week, so we just wait. Huh?
But just for whatever's sake, please consider it.
I don't even know. We never even agreed to.
No, because Oscar was totally different from us after number 4.
That's okay. That's okay.
Yeah, we never even.
I just wanted to be up.
Oh. Well, I would promise is next week. I would make sure I would have the rankings.
Okay.
By Monday.
So we do rankings on Mondays.
Yeah, after the weekend, so we could see what happens.
Okay, great. What do you think about if we could do? We don't have to post or anything, but before we finish tonight, can we do like a top 10 ranking for the whole country?
The reason why I don't do it because I don't follow every team in
but
the
just
whole
like
country.
For shits and giggles, it's very unserious. Please.
I mean, you're more than welcome to. I just don't feel like I can do it. That's what I'm saying.
Let's do it. Me and Shayna will do it, and you'll give your opinion.
I can do it. I can definitely do it.
I know you'll have opinions.
Of course, I will have opinions.
Okay, let's.
So Saturday, the first meet starts at 5, and it's already a big meet. Is Illinois at LSU at UCLA. So that's going to be
Illinois. Who's on their team?
No clue. And then we have another.
He said no clue.
Do you know Shayna?
I don't. I knew Mia Towns and Mia Takaquato, however you say her last name, but they both left last year, so I have no idea who's on that team now.
And then at 5 o'clock on Saturday, we have.
I've looked at this team so many times thinking I know people, and I just don't. They have one elite, Chloe Cho.
They have. Then at 5 o'clock, we have a Century Cornell at Western Chapel at Bridgeport. I have no idea who none of them
Centenary is a private school out here in Louisiana. They are a Division 2 or 3. LSU usually has them every year. Their head coach, if I'm not mistaken, she was the black girl on Oregon State team a couple years, like when they last won their Pac-12 championship. Brittany something, I think is her name.
Then also on Saturday, they're having another Greenville at Alaska again. The very next day.
Hold on now, not to cut you off. How the hell we got all these damn schools we can't pronounce none of their damn names? They got a damn Alaska team, 2-3 different Washington teams, but we still have no Texas team. Texas, y'all got to do fucking better.
Make it make sense.
And then also on Saturday, another big meet on Saturday is happening at 10 is going to be Michigan at Washington. So.
Oh, wait. Which did you say? You mentioned Washington earlier, maybe on Friday. Was that Washington State? Washington State?
No, we were speaking about it.
Those were universities of Washington. This one is just Washington.
Isn't Washington University?
Yeah, it's the University of Washington.
Maybe that's what Nisha's comment was about. Friday is Wisconsin, not Washington.
Oh, why? Oh, University of Wisconsin. Oh, that makes sense.
Because Washington University is a pretty decent team. If they're the ones I'm thinking of.
Okay, so all of those UW.
That's what they call them. UW. That's what they call them.
UW, Eclair, UW. Oh, maybe it's University of Wisconsin. UW Strauss. Maybe it's the University of Wisconsin and not Washington. So my bad, team. I never heard of y'all asses either. So forgive me. Y'all lucky I'm even trying to pronounce.
No, Washington is the school in Washington in purple that Elise Ray used to. Yeah, they used to be. I think she's the gymnast who used to be at Iowa. She's their coach now. Jessa Hansen, I think her name is.
And then Sunday, we have a bunch of meets with a bunch of Division 2 and 3 schools. So I'm going to go through them real quick. So we have Rhode Island College at Brockport. We have Southern Connecticut at Springfield at Brown. Brown is actually the NCAA school that Alicia Sacramone went to.
So. And Southern Connecticut is Kaya Johnson's school that she does her volunteer assistant coaching at.
Mm-hmm. We have Cortland Ithaca at Ursula at.
Is that
Utica? They don't pay Kaya Johnson.
Is that Utica?
At Utica? At Cortland Ithaca Ursinus at Ikra? I don't know. That's a weird ass quality, but
wait. You said they don't pay Kaya Johnson to coach?
I think she's just a volunteer.
That makes sense.
But she didn't have paid. She didn't have coaching experience. She just competed last year. She didn't even be a student coach first.
Wasn't she coaching when she was injured?
She was on the sideline in a scooter.
Coaching.
Coaching who?
Connor McLean.
That's a lie.
It's not the first lie I've told on this show about LSU.
Central Michigan's SCMO at Bowling Green. I don't know if Bowling Green used to have a good floor gymnast back in the day who was a national champion. I don't remember her name, but she tied a couple years with Ashley Miles Craig.
She tied?
She tied a couple floors. She won like 2 floor titles.
At Division 1 NCAA Nationals?
Let me look. I'm intrigued.
Ashley Miles won multiple floor titles?
Yeah.
Wow.
And then also at 1 o'clock on Sunday, we have Western Michigan at Wilberforce at Ball State. We also have Fisk, Penn, and Yale at George Washington.
Which was the school? What were the schools that were competing against? I think the meet took place at Ball State, where last season where they got like the crazy scores, maybe like a bunch of 10s or something.
Mm-hmm.
But which were the other schools? Do you remember? Or was Ball State the only one that got all the 10s? Are you thinking?
Oh, I personally have no idea of what you're
talking about. Shayna got quiet. So are you thinking? Or do you not know?
All I remember Ball State, but it was another person on one of those teams that got a 10 or 2.
And you don't know what the teams
I don't remember the school though. And none of those schools came close to a 196 after that. Because I think Ball State had scored like a 198 that meet. Like it was like all of those schools had their school record in that meet. It was that Nashville meet.
Oh, it wasn't at Ball State. Which state is Ball State in?
I have no idea.
I don't mean to make you look things up. I thought you would know this. I thought it was like common knowledge. Sorry.
If it was common knowledge, you would know it.
So for an NCAA stan like you.
No, but I don't know where these schools that are Division 3s and all that kind of stuff. I have no idea where.
Forget it. Sorry about that.
Her name was Courtney Bumpkers. Look her up, Michaela. You'll love her floor routine. She's a Black girl.
Okay. Also Sunday at 1, we have Kent State at Western Michigan. You have a lot of Division 2 and 3 schools on Sunday, so Sunday's not going to get watched. We have Central Michigan at SEMO at Bowling Green. We have LIU at New Hampshire.
I think that'll be the next program to get cut.
LIU or New Hampshire?
LIU.
Ooh, that's sad.
But LIU is a new program.
Mm-hmm.
So later on Sunday, we started to have some bigger meets. So Sunday at 3, we have Minnesota at Iowa, which should be good.
Is Nisha saying that Ball State is in Indiana, or Indiana was the other school at that meet?
Nisha, can you clarify your statement for Oscar?
Please.
Then at 4, we also have Stanford at Pittsburgh, and we just was talking about how Stanford looks.
That's a long way to travel. Forget Washington to Michigan. That's across the country.
Yeah. And then also on Sunday at 4, we have West Virginia at Denver.
Why does that happen though? That Stanford has to go to Pittsburgh? They have nothing to do with each other, and they're not in the same conference.
They are in the same conference. I think they're both in the ACC.
Why would that conference make any sense based off of geography?
Football.
But geography.
But football. Also,
it doesn't make any sense to me.
Also,
they're like 3,000 miles apart.
Does it make sense that Florida and Oklahoma is in the same conference?
More sense than that. It would be like if Florida and Alaska were in the same conference.
True. What conference is Alaska? Is a Division 1 school or a school of 3 school? It can't be a Division 1 school. Anyhow, I'm so sorry.
We love the questions.
Sunday at 5, we have Boise State, Sacramento State, UC Davis at San Jose State. Also at 5, this is a good one. We have Clemson at Cal. Clemson, if y'all could find some way to beat Cal in this meet, that would be dope. Also,
why do you root for Clemson again?
I just like them.
Because. Oh, okay.
We also have Arizona versus Arizona State, which should be good. And then we have a big meet on Sunday. I might stream this one. Okay. Before that, we have Maryland at Nebraska, which I don't give a fuck about. But then we have the highlight meet of the weekend to me, which is Kentucky at Missouri. This right here, I will not give y'all an SEC ranking until I see this meet. Because this right here, because I think they both are like the 4th or 5th best team in the SEC. So we'll see who's really gonna be on top.
Wait, you think I thought we all thought Kentucky was the 4th best team in the SEC last week.
I all think Kentucky is the 4th best team. I think it's Missouri.
But okay. All of us think Alabama is. I think Alabama is better than Missouri.
Lies, you tell. We will see. Missouri, you better whoop that ass. Even though I'm a Kentucky stan, Missouri, you better whoop that ass.
Why? Why do you want Missouri?
Because I like Missouri more.
Why?
Because I do.
Why? Elaborate for me.
I have nothing to elaborate. I just do.
Do you care when gymnasts in NCAA, when they twist early off of the table on vault?
Yeah, I don't like it.
So why do you think Jocelyn Moore should get a 20?
I don't think she twists early off the table like that.
Maybe not as badly as other people, but she definitely does a little bit, yeah. At least in that vault you posted.
It's not as bad as other people who twist early.
Definitely, yeah, exactly what I said, but she does. It should be a deduction to me. And she also has a funny technique. Not to sound like not to give her too much, but she really, you know, the technique when the girls really just do like a Yurchenko full in the air, pause, and then do the last half turn. And it's not just like a constant twisting. Maybe you can rewatch it if you have some time. In slow motion.
Oh, okay.
Or you can, yeah, or not.
Oh. I still,
Is she your favorite gymnast on Missouri?
Jocelyn Moore?
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I wouldn't say I had a favorite. I would say it would be Amari Celestine.
Amari Celestine. I haven't seen her compete this season, but I know her. Okay.
Yeah, I had something else I wanted to talk about, but I forgot because Shannon said her phone died, so that's why Shannon's not here.
So you might stream the. Wait. So, can I talk about how we're trying to get our podcast to be streamed in addition, not in replacement of, in addition to your YouTube on my YouTube as well?
Sure, yeah.
Because I was thinking, could I stream a meet that you're not there for? Or would that get you in trouble?
As long as you don't stream it on my YouTube channel, I don't care.
Like maybe I'll stream Georgia.
Sure. Just from your YouTube channel, not on my YouTube channel. Because when I say I'm going to stream a meet, it's not going to be on my YouTube channel.
Oh, what will it be on Twitter?
I gotta fix my Twitter, but yes. And it makes me so mad because I see added streaming stuff on Twitter all the time, and Twitter just will not let me do it.
Do you have to pay Twitter to stream stuff? Could I do it on Twitter?
No, you don't have to pay to stream stuff on Twitter. Yes, you should be able to stream stuff on Twitter.
Okay, I'm gonna try playing around with that. No promises. But that sounds fun to me, in theory.
Speaking of sounding fun in theory, I think we talked about NCAA for 2 hours. When Shannon gets back, we could get back to the NCAA. But Oscar had a bunch of gymnastics news that I wanted to talk about, and I don't remember any of them at this moment in time. But as soon as we start refreshing my memory, I promise y'all I will have lots of opinion. Oscar up there being a damn gymnastics journalist, getting all the hard-hitting questions from Alex Kinsella. Let's talk about that.
Yeah, it's not a huge story. But that was really cool that she responded to my question on Twitter. Someone was just posting all the vaults. Well, it was like a thread about comparing scoring, execution scores, and D scores.
It was a thread comparing Arminars versus DTYs versus Yurchenko 1.5s, and is it even worth it to do an Arminar anymore? Because back in the day, it used to be worth 8/10 more than the DTY, and the judges were scoring even a poorly executed Arminar would still score higher than a well-executed DTY. And they were making the comparison that in today's era of gymnastics, even an okay Arminar still wouldn't be a good DTY, so why do it?
Well, they didn't really. They only showed Ruby Evans Almanar, and it was okay in the air and whatnot, but then she went both feet out of bounds, and I think her Almanar scored like the same or maybe less than Georgia May Fenton's Yurchenko 1.5.
Mm-hmm.
And then they also showed Alice Kinsella's Yurchenko double. It was all from the team final. And Alice did a pretty good Yurchenko double. She can do it a little better than that, but it was totally fine. And she looked really unhappy after she landed. Well, first she smiled to the judges, and then she was like, "Oh,"
yeah, I think she got the
and she like looked
top
down.
vault score from the Olympics from that rotation.
Yeah, from the team final, I think they were all right between 13-8 and 14, all smushed in there. She looks really happy, and then she like looks down and she's like unhappy all of a sudden, and her coach tries to high five her, and she like high fives him without even looking at him or acknowledging him. And I was like, I commented, why do we think Alice was unhappy? And she finally responded, and she just said ankles. So I guess she stung her ankles, landing a little short. But it really didn't look that bad to me. So I was surprised. That's why it wasn't obvious to me.
Oh, that's what you got from that she stung her ankles. When she said ankles, I got her ankles been killing her. So when she landed, her ankles was hurting. So she didn't have time to be bothered with her damn culture. She was ready to sit down and deal with her damn ankles hurting. That's how I got
it. I mean, I assume that everyone has like injuries, right? So but I think that like when you land short, usually, I don't know, it wasn't that short. So maybe it was just like she has a pre-existing ankle injury. It did get me thinking though. Alice Kinsella, she made so many teams for GB all the way from 2017 up until 2024. Like she was never out with injury, basically. I mean, I don't think she was at 2021 World Championships, but she won the bronze medal at 2021 in Tokyo. So it's not like she took that year out or anything due to injury. But that's that. I was very pleased that Alice acknowledged and answered my question. And if Alice ever sees this, we would love to have her on the podcast to do an interview.
Yes.
What else did I want to talk about? I have to remind myself. Did you see Sabrina Voynier's new choreography on Floor?
I think her working on something.
People are saying that she literally, literally stole Reeby's choreography. But if you haven't seen it, maybe we won't talk about that. Gabby Douglas released like a video montage of her training from 2024 in which there were like a bunch of notable things going on in there, and it was funny. And I just love seeing any clips of Gabby doing gymnastics, but she showed her doing the Yurchenko half-on entry for the vault. Yeah. That was cool. But it also gives me an idea of like maybe how unserious Gabby is, or like how we should not take what Gabby says seriously. Because remember, she really said, like, right at the beginning of when she announced her comeback, she was like, and I'm training a new vault with a C, but I won't tell you what it is. And I'm like, do we think she ever started twisting that vault? I mean, we don't know. Maybe that.
Wow.
I don't know. That's how I interpreted that.
How
did you interpret it? I was going to move on.
I just think she was trying to learn it. I don't think it was ever even close. But I think she was trying to get a grasp of that technique.
Yeah, it didn't look bad.
It didn't
I've
look
seen worse.
bungable though.
No, like she didn't get any height in that one video, but it's one video, and it was like a fail, you know. So I'm definitely making a mountain out of a anthill or whatever.
But people was even questioning, was she even training it? So yeah, she definitely was trying to learn it.
That's right. And like a lot of these girls could never have such a square block on their half on, even in their fail videos. Elisa Iorio, Italian Olympian from Paris Olympics. She
ankle surgeries.
Right, she had an ankle surgery. She injured her ankle at the Olympics. She was supposed to do more events for the team. She only did bars because of the injury. She was recovering, and during her recovery, she injured it again, and this time it requires surgery. So she's out, and her post made it sound like she's kind of struggling with motivation, or like she's a bit down mentally because of these injuries. So I hope she's able to overcome that and find joy from the sport and recover her health as soon as possible.
Question.
Yeah.
I know some people are talking about, I think it's the Cobus Cup coming up shortly.
Yeah, I was going to get to that.
Has the Americans, are they sending people to this?
I haven't heard anything about it. I've only heard about the Chinese.
America, I think you should send people to this.
You know what I heard? And I'm going to confirm it right now because I'm pretty sure someone told me that the Gymternet, which is a fabulous gymnastics website resource for many different things, gymnastics related, I think they just released 2025's meet calendar, which is a great resource. And I'm looking at it now. And Cottbus is February 20th through 23rd. Now get this. The Woga Classic is February 21st through 23rd. Oh, but I'm not done. The Winter Cup is February 20th through February 23rd.
Oh, yeah. So they're definitely not sending nobody to Cottbus. Definitely. If they have people ready, they'll send them to either Woga or American Cup. I mean, Winter Cup. Like,
I think that's most likely, unfortunately, even though I would love to see the Americans compete internationally and receive international scores. Because they're always trying to like.
Okay, but see, no, I think it's enough gymnasts that I would still send maybe 2 to Cottbus, maybe 2 to Winter to. Well, no, you would have to send all the Woga gymnasts to Woga.
You can send 3. I think you can send at least 3 gymnasts to Cottbus. Which 3 would you send for the U.S.?
I wouldn't send that many. I probably would send 1.
But there's so many American elites.
They need to prepare for Winter Cup.
Not everyone needs to be at Winter Cup. There were so many key players
last. Winter Cup. I mean,
it's a different year. It's different. You're right. It's the year after the Olympics. That was an Olympic year.
Yeah, this Winter Cup. Yeah, you need to start now, in my opinion, to make a name for yourself.
I think it's just as cool. I think it's just as much of a good look, if not better, to have success at an international meet.
It is, but not if they're not ready for that. If they're gonna go and
yeah, it's much better to fail at the Winter Cup than at the Cottbus Cup.
Yeah, that's why. Yeah, Cottbus might be.
Oh, look at you having the athlete's best interests at heart. I'm like, no, go compete internationally.
It might be too early. Like maybe if Jordan Childs was ready, I would send Jordan to Cottbus or Jade, but they're doing NCAA.
She's not. Yeah. No, but let's come up with at least one name. I could come up with 3 names. I think it would have to be girls that we are already familiar with. I don't think it can be
that I was
a new senior. It can't be a new senior.
The names that I was seeing are in NCAA right now. Like I was seeing Leanne.
No, come up with someone who's not in NCAA who can go.
They're retired.
No, Hesley Rivera is not in NCAA.
She needs to go to Winter Cup. She needs to win Winter Cup.
I don't think I agree. I think she has experience. But let's think. Who else has experience? Jayla Hang has some experience.
I would send Jayla to Woga. I think it would be more important for Jayla or Hesley. Isn't Hesley a Woga gymnast? Yeah, she's going to Woga. That's not even a question.
I don't think I agree with I don't know. Simone Rose, she went to Pan Am's, I think.
See, so I don't know if Simone is ready at this meet, and if she is ready, again, she needs to go to Winter Cup and win Winter Cup.
Don't you feel like you're being ridiculous? You're literally saying there's no one who should go. Like, no, we're skipping this meet?
I don't think it's too early in the season. It's too much of a risk now to send some. Like, I would hate for them to be Morgan Hurd, who went to.
But why would it be better to go later in the season and fail?
I think their routines will be ready. Like, I don't think the girls have upgrades yet, or.
Okay, that makes sense. It's very early in the season, but so is Winter Cup. It's like
the Winter Cup is a national competition where a girl could step out of bounds and still score 14 because it's in America. Whereas,
I see what you're saying.
Are you ready to go to Cabas and get a 12-2 on beam and be like, what?
So I guess it just took me a while to understand because you didn't initially say the U.S. should not send anyone to Cabas based off of who we have.
If somebody was ready, like if it was Suni or if Gabby was ready, this would be a perfect competition for you to try to come back in.
But how do you know that Jayla Hang and Simone Rose aren't ready?
If they are ready, I would send them to Winter Cup. I would have them fight it out at nationals. Like for Cabas,
what's the difference? Yeah. What's the difference with someone like Gabby or Suni?
I would send somebody who, even if they fail the whole thing, it would do nothing to their confidence. It would not hurt their status in America. I wouldn't send somebody new to Cabas because I wouldn't want the judges to already be like, oh, she's weak on bars. Let me look for that. Like,
they're not actually. I was trying to think of girls who were seniors last year. All those girls were senior last year.
And then this is what I'm saying. Like all of those girls, they were senior last year, but they were lower level seniors last year. So, for their first chance at the top of the range, where Simone's not here, Suni's not here, Jordan's not here, Shilese.
Should we let
if Shilese Jones is ready, I would send her to Cabas, but I don't think she's ready.
No, I doubt it. Should we let like the gymnasts who the USA relies on less, like go just because they want to go? Should we let Amelia Disidore go
to Cabas?
Yeah. Is she gonna tarnish the USA's name?
I wouldn't say she would tarnish the USA's name, but I would send somebody. Again, all the girls that I would send are in NCAA right now. I would send Jocelyn. I would send Sky if she was ready. I would send Kalia Lincoln if she was ready, but they're in the NCAA. So,
okay, that's interesting. You say Kalia because Kalia was senior 2023. I forgot about that. Oh, I can't believe they left her off that team. Okay. Let me just double check what we have between now and then, because there are a bunch of meets. So we've already had these invitational, the Vegas Cup national qualifier. I heard about that actually because Kamara Williams competed at that. I saw her beam and floor. Blah, blah, blah. I don't know about any of these. The Dragon Invitational is happening the first week of February. That's the meet where Leanne threw her Ray dismount off bars. So maybe keep an eye out for that. And then the first Italian Serie A is February 7th. Elite Canada is February 13th is when it begins. So that's still a few weeks away. We'll give you an update closer to that. Did you see that video of Reby doing the almost stuck Amanar onto a mat at Paris?
Yeah, everybody is losing their shit.
I know. And it was nice. It was cute. Okay, due to elbow surgery, Qiu Ziyuan will be absent from the National Chinese Championships. You know who Qiu Ziyuan is, right? Let me see if I can find when the Chinese National Championships are. I'm not seeing them on this. Doesn't mean they're not here, but I don't see it, and I'm all the way up to May. So, yeah. Okay. Zhang Yihan, who is also on the Paris Chinese Olympic team, she's the one who had the double twisting Sukahara, the Zamo vault. She made the bars final last year in 2024. She went to Koppa's World Cup, and she submitted the clear hip layout to Tkachev, which they initially credited her with, but then they took it back. They snatched it back and did not name it after her. So Zhang Yihan she's training a double twisting Yurchenko as well as a Syllabus on floor. And she's going to try to get the layout to Tkachev, clear hip layout to Tkachev, named after again this year at Koppa's. The Ukrainian National Olympic Committee, Ministry of Youth and Sports, and the Gymnastics Federation have appealed to the IOC as well as the FIG to take measures to prevent Russian and Belarusian athletes who supported aggression against Ukraine from participating in international competitions. This was especially eye-catching to me because they were bold and they named names. They included by name Nikita Nagorny, David Belyavsky, Artur Dalaloyan, your fave, not you, Michaela, but all your faves, Angelina Melnikova, Victoria Listunova, and Vladislava Urazova. Meanwhile, Victoria is in Italy. I think she's planning on competing in the series or something to get a cute check. And I think Melnikova is there as well.
I'm so sorry. I absolutely agree with the way the Ukrainians feel. And it's so sad that the Ukrainian athletes are slowly but surely moving to Croatia and other countries because the country of Ukraine, can't fund their gymnastics programs anymore like they used to. They have to fight the war. And but I absolutely 100% agree with them. Like, Russia literally used these gymnasts as propaganda for the war. So, yeah.
I totally agree. Like, good for them. Is Kalia Nimor competing somewhere? Not that I know of, but I did see her. There was like a training montage she released, but there were no upgrades in the video. I think that's all I have. I was hoping Shayna would come back on so we could do the top 10 rankings for all of the NCAA schools, but I guess she's not coming back. And I'm assuming you don't want to do it, just the two of us, do you?
Yeah, I just don't have the knowledge to do it. That's why
blah blah blah. Excuses.
Only do the SEC because that's the only conference that I absolutely pay attention to. Like all the other conferences and all the other teams, I don't
wanna talk about something messy for a second?
Sure.
Well, first I'll mention that in that training montage that Gabrielle Douglas posted, she was liking comments that were talking about, what did the comments say? It was like, someone commented, she's coming back hopefully for the 2028 Olympics, fingers crossed, and she liked it. And then someone else commented, she's been at it since 2012, and she was a teen back then. Maybe she should hang that level of competition up. She did not like that one. But then someone responded to that one saying, or maybe you should hang up this comment. Why is it that she can't keep going? Please have several seats. And Gabrielle liked that one. Okay. I wanted to talk about... Honestly, we don't need to talk about it.
I say something about the Gabby, and I'm not mad at the Gymternet fans who don't want to be a part of this ride anymore. I used to be like, y'all are haters. Why won't y'all leave Gabby? I can get it. It's a lot. Like, I'm not saying that she's dramatic, but just her journey and her road back to the Olympics has been a very dramatic journey. And if you don't want to be part of that journey anymore, and you're just like me, and like, I don't care what coaches she at. I don't care what gym she at. When she competes again, I will be back on the train. But until Mama competes again, these are just training videos to me, and it means nothing to me at all. I completely understand, y'all. That's exactly where I'm at with this. All I would say is, let me hold my laptop for the die. Speak to the people, Oscar. And next, we're going to talk about Trump. And we're going to talk about Trump and his trans bills because I want to. Hold on.
Shayna, you're back. We can do our top 10 ranking. Yay! John Perry. What about John Perry, Nisha? Oh, I haven't heard from John in ages since we did a show together like over a month ago. I hope John is somewhere healthy, safe, enjoying life.
Yo, John over there slinging dick and walk.
Living his best life.
God willing, I hope so.
I'm telling you, John Perry, I know you, sir. You up here an attorney in the daytime, a porn star at night. Let me come across that OnlyFans.
I don't want to see it.
You give me somebody who have on a mask just to be dicking down the kids. Let me find that OnlyFans, sir. Let me find that OnlyFans.
You have to be looking to find it.
Shit, Twitter. I don't have to look for shit. Twitter brings that shit to me. As soon as I start following any trans woman on Twitter, porn. It's just porn. I just be like, oh my God. That's why I don't follow y'all on Twitter on my gymnastics page, because anytime I follow, Shayna is the only trans woman I've ever followed that following her did not lead to nothing but porn just coming up and down my timeline.
Anyway,
y'all trans girls like to put y'all lilies in these damn boys' booty holes a lot. I be watching that on Twitter.
Yeah.
Y'all Y'all trans girls don't play.
They don't.
That's why they don't want y'all to have no rights in America
because they
now.
think everybody like they. Make your money, girl. I ain't mad at you.
I ain't mad at you either.
No, definitely not.
Yeah, but our president is doing a whole bunch of. He doing a whole lot of.
Our president. I just have to address that with the audience. This is why I wanted to. This is why I'm so frustrated because I wanted this to go on. Well, I can always post. I'm gonna post it to the things, but I just want my trans sisters to know that this is a time. I want y'all to understand that this isn't. Y'all can't not pay this attention. I would delete my account if I did. Oh, thank God I never seen porn on Twitter. Nisha?
Damn, Nisha, you're lucky. What?
You are very lucky. Twitter is very bad with the pornography. Very bad.
Whether you like it or not.
Whether you like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
Twitter is extremely bad with the pornography.
What do you think about there's all this, so Trump is doing a lot. He's doing a lot of heinous stuff and there's a lot of reporting about it. But my perception is there's also a lot of misinformation about what he is doing. How do you feel about that?
There is. And I want to talk about
and separating truth from misinformation.
And I can't talk about every single executive order that he just passed, because the man passed like a ton of them shits.
Right.
But as far as my trans and LGBTQ people are concerned,
They're trying to be racist.
He is not trying. There is no trying in it. The time for trying has gone. It is an erasure of your gender identity. Now, for me, if I'm just going to speak honestly, for me, and we've had this conversation on this show, and the show I used to do with addicts many a times, I view myself as a very binary trans woman. So having the genders just be male and female is cool with me because that's how I see life, like very black and white. But I do understand that a lot of people are in the gray, live in the gray, identify in the gray. Everything isn't just man or woman. And plus, I do also understand there is a large intersex community that this affects because, and if, for those who don't know what an intersex person is, back in the day, in the old school, we used to call it being a hermaphrodite. Now, that term analogy is offensive to some, but some people don't find that offensive at all. But basically what an intersex person is that you were born with duality. Now, for a lot of people, that duality is your gender. Like, you were born with both male and female body parts. But that's not the only way that you can be intersex, and that is the most extreme way that you can be intersex. The most common way, and a lot of people don't even look into this, is that your body produces an equal amount of estrogen and testosterone. That is the most common way of being intersex. And if I'm just being honest, if I share something on the show, that was one of my journeys as a child and even in adulthood, is my body just naturally produces estrogen at the same level as a female does. Like, so there's an erasure of that community of people, of intersex people who lives in the binary, who identify as non-conforming or who identify as no gender at all, or
non-binary.
this, that, and the third. non-binary. And a lot of people. So one thing that he passed an order that you don't have to recognize the them they people anymore. It's just male or female, he or she. There's no more the them, they them in the on the federal level. Now it's up to each individual state to determine what they gonna do. But if you live in one of the loser states like like Texas or Florida, you already know what they finna do. So
it might like McDonald's and Walmart, they're already taking that stuff off of their stuff.
Amazon.
Diversity, inclusion, and equity.
May I ask a question about in being intersex people identity? So being intersex can mean that you can be intersex and not trans, and you can be intersex and trans, right?
Correct.
Okay. I want to make that clear for myself and for other people.
And you can be intersex because there's some intersex people where every few years their body just naturally changes. Like for a while, their body could produce the estrogen and hormone levels where without doing anything, they could walk around and they could pass as male. But then their body could change, and then they could walk around and pass as female, and they could do no surgeries, no nothing, but their body just changes like that. Again, these are all very small community of a small community already of trans people. But the gag is the thing that he's done that is going to affect the whole community, whether you want to believe it or not. This is going to affect you, and I don't care how much money that you have. I don't care how little bit of money that you have. If you are a girl who works like a 9 to 5, this is something you are going to have to deal with. And I just don't know. Even I don't know what I'm going to do when it finally. So what the thing that he passed was on a federal level, gender markers and name changes are no longer recognized in the country. And they are going to, on a federal level, so on the federal level, it's your passports. They're going to reissue your passport with your original names and genders on it and send it to you in the mail. And on the state level, they're going to reverse your name changes on your birth certificates and your ID. So they already started this in Texas. They are mailing the girls their IDs back with their original name on it and their original gender on it, and saying their ID with their giving, with their chosen name and their correct sex on it is null and void.
Scandalous.
That's what it is. That's how it's going. I thought they couldn't reverse it already.
It's up to the states. So, he passed it. So Texas is like, we're on board with this shit. So Texas is already on that shit.
Florida, Louisiana, all those places are going to be the same way.
They haven't started it yet. At least in Florida, they haven't decided to do anything yet. But they can. And especially if Texas is going to be the example. So all the money we've spent getting these documents changed is going to be reversed.
And that's going to affect so many people that already have gender dysphoria. That's just going to heighten it back up.
It's going to affect so many people that already have gender dysphoria, and it's also going to affect the girls who have SRS surgeries too, because it applies to them too.
It's terrible.
Part 2, your job do not have to respect your gender and your wishes.
They're basically saying it should be off of your own, like, your own skill. Race and gender should not matter.
Is it true that they can also now discriminate in hiring based off of your race and sex?
Oh, excuse me. Oh.
Absolutely, and I'm so sorry. We taking the race shit out of it because them black people, this is what y'all wanted. Y'all wanted Trump. So, because y'all didn't want the trannies to be up in there. So, I don't give a fuck what's happening to y'all black people in this DEI shit. Good luck with that, girl. I'm talking to my trans sisters and my gay brothers.
But DEI is separate from, like, I read that Trump got rid of all federal DEI employees positions.
Correct.
But then separately, he's trying to reverse like an executive order by Johnson, who was a president from 1965, was his order that was about getting rid of discrimination in terms of employment based off of race and some other things, and then amended to add sex, which would be gender today.
Well, that's not DEI. What you're talking about,
right? I think they're different. Two things. Plus
the orders that he has signed, and they still have to be passed through legislature. But
there still have to be passed through legislation, which is what I want my sisters to understand, that none of this is actually happening today, other than the
pardons,
the
pardons that he did,
the pardons and the IDs things, because Texas jumped on that shit fast. Mm-hmm. Other states other than Texas are not doing this yet, but it's possible. And then my original thought was, girls, y'all better go get y'all name changes, but then I can't tell y'all to do that because
if
you just spend all that money to do that,
and
then the law can be changed and it's null and void.
I don't know though, Michaela. Especially the girls that have SRS, I don't think you can rechange or go back into it.
Why not?
Yeah, why not?
Because you medically transitioned.
But they don't care about the.
But all that's null and void. That's what I'm saying. This is why I'm telling my girls. This is why I'm saying. I'm not talking about the black community right now. Y'all on y'all own. I'm talking specifically to my trans girls. Y'all need to really be on this shit. No, y'all need to really be on this shit. Y'all need to understand what is going on, because it's going to affect trans women, black trans women, the most. Because once they start this shit and they start firing us from jobs because we refuse to let y'all call us our dead names, and then they can fire your ass because of your name, you refuse to be called whatever, then the girls are going to start going back to sex work. And then the girls are going to end up being killed at hundreds, the rates of hundreds a year, like it was in 2007, 2008, when they shut down Craigslist. I remember those years. Y'all need to really be paying. Y'all need to, if you are an employed girl, I would say have a conversation with your employer now. Have a conversation with your employer now. And have them understand that no matter what the laws is, you're not going to allow them to call you these things. And you need to understand that what their position is now. So you could start now. If you need to start looking for a new job, you need to know this now. Like, these are things that you think you having a snack.
It's not just because
all of this.
It's 2025 is real. It's real.
All of this shit that we have in this community, that we have such microaggressions, all this, the girls who had SRS surgery versus the girls who didn't. All of this, the girls who are hormones versus the girls who didn't. All of that shit is done because guess what else is illegal? they're gonna make it illegal to get your hormones done because it's already harder now.
Mm-hmm.
But you need to, if you're a girl who's on hormones, you need to stack up on your hormones, your medications, and get a good supply because they're changing laws.
Yeah.
Like y'all don't understand. Like they're literally changing laws to make being trans or to at least medically transition hard to impossible.
It's gonna be. We're going 10 steps back when it comes to when the girls used to have to, steal hormones, get on birth control, go the black market route.
That's how I started my transition with birth control.
So,
baby, I know how to.
We're getting back to those times, and then it's just also. It's not just about the children, because that's what it always seemed like during its campaign, was about the children and not being successful in school to do the pronouns. They're doing it to the millions of adult trans people, because now it's like the bathroom thing too. That's going to be another big thing, is the bathroom.
That's going to be another big thing, and he's going to import. And again, girls, y'all take that shit. Y'all take that shit as a joke. Y'all take that shit as, oh, I'm passable slang. It's beyond that. It's really beyond that. If you think you're going to be okay because you're passable, I'm going to be the first bitch laughing at you on the front lines, because that's how I feel in 2024 and 2025, all the way for these next 4 to 8 years.
That is going to be so... when it's like they're going to say that it's dangerous for the trans women to go in the bathroom. No, it's not. Those men are not going to have a problem with that. It's those women that are going to have problems with their men in these bathrooms with the trans girls.
And in part B to that, y'all don't see. And the thing is, why I'm saying I don't give a damn about the black community is because y'all don't. Y'all are the main ones who allowed this shit to happen. So y'all think, okay, y'all don't want trans women to go into the bathrooms with your daughters, right? But what do you think these trans men, what bathroom they're going to have to go to? The women. So now you're going to have men in the damn women's bathroom now. Mm-hmm. The thing that you was trying to avoid, which was trans women who y'all consider men in the women's bathroom, now y'all going to have actual men, trans men in the women's bathroom. How are y'all going to feel about that?
And just because they might not be as clockable as a trans woman, if you're going based off of the law, it don't matter how masculine he looks. If he's a trans man, he has to go in his assigned birth bathroom. So it's gonna be some trying times. The trans girls have always been here. We're gonna continue to be here, regardless of who is in office. It just sucks because it's not just those things. It's so much he's trying to take away to open up the floodgates for people to be discriminated against. And that's the trans girls. That's people of color. That's the LGBTQ. That is women. All of the above.
And anything
that's not white.
What's the most hurtful part to me in this is that conservative women came up with this. It wasn't even men who came up with this. It was conservative women with this conservative. It's this protecting women from something thing where all of this came from. And it's like, bitch, y'all are so damn intimidated by a bunch of bitches that don't even think about y'all asses on a day-to-day basis, that it's this damn deep. Okay.
Are they TERFs?
Okay. Deeper. It's them damn, what's the Harry Potter lady name?
Well, she's a TERF, J.K. Rowling.
It's all of those TERFs. Like,
trans
y'all are
exclusionary radical feminist.
It's all of those TERFs who, for whatever reason, feel like trans people, especially because when they say trans people, they don't think of trans men. They only think of trans women. I'm sorry, sis, if you had a girl munch your man up, girl, and he left you for that girl, that ain't the whole community's fault. Like, you need to deal why your pussy so whack that your man left you for a trans girl. Leave trans girls alone.
Leave the trans girls alone.
It hasn't happened yet, but my gay men, watch this marriage equality bill. I think it might get overturned. And for those who say marriage equality can't get overturned, Roe v. Wade got overturned, didn't it? And it was a law way in the book, way longer than marriage equality. So, and that's one of the things of Project 2025 is to overturn marriage equality. And I think it might happen. He have the Supreme Court to do it. He have the House and the Congress to do it. Please pay attention. Your marriages could be null and void. The same way the girls' IDs can be null and void. Like,
and it's not like it doesn't already happen all the time, but now it could potentially be legal for an employer to fire you just because you're trans or you're gay or they think you're trans or gay. That's my understanding. Correct me if I'm wrong.
Diversity, equity, and inclusion stuff was so like spread out in the federal government and in laws and policies. So now you're taking that away now. So all you're going to see now is white men in powers of position, like it used to always be. And you got the ones that are saying that it shouldn't be like that. It should be based off of your skill, not to fill a quota. No, it needs to have laws to protect minorities. But you also have to be qualified also, not just be that diversity hire.
True.
And taking away those things is going to open it up to where we're going to see nothing but the whites. Nothing but the white men.
And the thing is, if you're a trans person or a gay person and you work around children, I'm telling you, this might be the time to think of a different career field, because they're going to try to call you every kind of molester, pedophile there is in the book. And I don't know if I want my sisters to deal with that. Like, it's going to be a hard time. If you are a trans teacher, think about getting out of that field for right now, or teaching on a private level or teaching online, because it's so hard. It's just so hard. Like, I've been thinking for myself. I work in hospitality. I work at a hotel. I live in Florida. Let one of them crazy white bitches come up there and be like, and clock my tea, and then try to get me fired from my tea. My job would have to fire me, I think.
Why would they have to fire you?
If she says I'm making her uncomfortable, or she says that she's afraid that I'm working there and her kids are there, I think they could sue the company for keeping me.
Oh, whoa. I didn't know that. Why do you think that, though? I mean, you can sue anyone for anything.
Oh, yeah, but I mean, it was something recently in the Supreme Court where it was some situation like that, and I think they won. I don't remember. I know it was something that just happened in the Supreme Court.
Yes, but it has always existed. I just was saying that now it will be legalized again.
And but what I'm saying is there's no protection.
I was just
like before the protection was no. I know. But the protection was you can't do that because you're discriminating against her, right? You can't say that you're in fear for your child. That's discriminatory. Michaela's literally not doing nothing but at work. Now, if the laws get passed, it is I'm the one in the wrong for even being out in the public dressed as somebody who's not in the gender that they were born. Because that's the way it used to be in the 70s. Like, they could arrest you for just being out cross-dressing. That used to be against the law. So I don't know how far back reverse things. That's what I'm saying. Pay attention.
And it's just contradictory towards what America is supposed to stand for, the land of the free, liberty and pursuit and justice for all. Like, when you start making policies that can open up the floodgates to discriminate towards other people, that is not the normal or the status quo, that is where the issues become into place. And that's why I've always aligned with the Democrats. Perfect, no. But show me a perfect person.
But yeah, it's not democracy, it's fascism.
And then you got these immigrants, these Spanish people, these Latin people that have voted for him. And I have not once heard or seen anything about how it's going to help the economy. How am I going to make sure I don't have to pay $7 for a carton of fucking eggs? Like, how are you going to let the housing market, like me to be able to afford a house? None of those things that people supposedly had voted for him for, I don't see any of those policies. I just see him stripping away from a lot of stuff, but not adding on or adding things to help the American people and economy, regardless of who you are.
So, it's a distraction. The world is laughing at the US, but I think they're also very, very scared.
Yeah, it seems like some of the world is leaning into it, and they got their own versions of Donald Trump.
That's what I mean. Yeah, too. They see. That's exactly what I meant.
Another thing I want my trans sisters and gay brothers to understand going to this marriage equality shit is...
What about the gay sisters?
Yeah, I'm not so much worried about y'all in America because, they like y'all. As long as they can watch y'all eat pussy together, they fine with y'all. But it's us that they have the issue with.
Mm-hmm.
Hell, it's this whole movement now of damn heterosexual men who's trying to convert studs and turn them back into soft. Like, it's just weird. It's just very weird. And then the studs be going along with it. Like, I'm like, I thought you were supposed to be a stud. Like, how are you? Okay, I'm so sorry.
How do we not contribute to the divisiveness? Or do you feel differently about that?
I think it's beyond the point of not contribute to the divisiveness. I think we need to play into the divisiveness and make the divided community a minority. They are not the majority of this country. They just are the loudest voices. And everybody else, the Democrats, and I'm blaming the Democrats for this, want to play pussy and they keep getting fucked. They don't want to talk out on shit. They don't want to call people out. They like Joe Biden, his last 2 weeks of his presidency was the best 2 weeks of his damn presidency. You telling me the whole other 4 years in office you couldn't just do this shit? Like, it's just like the Democrats, they don't even fight. Like, they just...
What did he do in his last 2 weeks that was so great?
He signed so many executive orders. He signed... Like what? Oh, gosh. It was something about... It was something about college and like something that he did. It was just a bunch of shit that he did. I don't have any specific examples because why? The Democrats suck at highlighting their accomplishments. I just know he did some shit, but can I tell you what he did? No, but can I tell you everything? I can't tell you everything that Trump did, but can I tell you the things that affected me that Trump did? Absolutely. And that's, again, part of the problems with the Democrats. They suck at being politicians right now, and the Republicans are just way better than them. I think it's time right now, instead of being mad, instead of complaining, instead of doing exactly what I'm doing right now, we need to just pick better politicians for our side and start campaigning them now and start getting their names out there now. If we're such a celebrity culture people, hell, maybe we need to find a celebrity Democrat for the job. Like, I don't know. It's just we need to do something that we haven't been doing. But your marriages could really be in jeopardy. Like, I want everybody to, like, the name changes, and that's real important for the trans community, but the gay community as a whole, your marriages is in jeopardy. Your marriages could be null and void.
And your children probably too, right?
I was about to say, I don't think they can do that, but what's to stop them? What's to stop them from taking away your adopted kids? What are to stop them from disbanding these things? Like,
I think it's about to be unprecedented.
And then the thing is, the more disenfranchised we become, we stop voting. We be like, it doesn't matter. And then the Republicans keep getting into office and keep passing laws and keep doing things that everybody is like, how in the hell? It's because y'all don't participate. Y'all don't do y'all civic duties. So it makes it hard for the rest of us. And while we're on this, I am going. Y'all heard me say all of that. Y'all, well, I'm going to say something that y'all might feel like it's going to be contradictory. But with all of that being said,
what?
I do feel like, with all of that being said, I do feel like we're in a place where I don't think it's right for y'all to go and find out who certain gymnasts follow and then be mad at them because of their political persuasions. Like,
no?
I just think if you're that hard, why do you follow gymnastics at all? Gymnastics is just conservative. Like, yeah, it's artistic, yeah, it's beautiful, but gymnastics is very conservative. So if you're going to be mad at, I promise you, I think Dominique Dawes is a Trump supporter. I know she was up there campaigning for Barack Obama, but he was black. That was a thing. I think, I think a lot of your favorite gymnasts are a lot more conservative than you give them credit for when they become adults. So, enjoy their gymnastics when they was young. Now that shit didn't affect them, but I don't know.
By that logic, why wouldn't she vote for Kamala because she's black?
That's very true.
In her husband white?
And
so, she may be in a marriage where the husband's views and his affiliations is what she aligns with.
We truly do not know. That's why we got to interview her.
This is why the only reason I feel like Dominique Dawes is conservative is because I follow her on social media.
Oh, she is definitely conservative. It's just, did she vote for Trump is what we're talking about, I thought.
It's very conservative. Like, I sit up here and think about, like, Dominique Dawes would be great for the Real Housewives of Atlanta.
Not Atlanta, Salt Lake, maybe.
No, she lives in Atlanta. I think she could do, but they would have to recast the whole Atlanta people, for new people. But like, if they ever was to recast the franchise, I would hire Dominique Dawes because I'm very fascinated.
Dominique Dawes lives in Atlanta.
She. I guess her husband bought her stock.
What about Potomac?
I don't know where Potomac is. I think that's
Washington. The DMV, and I thought Kelly Hill is in Maryland, so I assumed her parents lived there also.
I think her parents lived in Virginia.
That's the DMV.
The only reason I know that she lives in Atlanta because she's always at the Atlanta Falcons football game because she has some kind of ownership deal in the Atlanta Falcons.
This thing says this AI is I looked up where does Dominique Dawes live, and they instead wanted me to. They suggested is Dominique Dawes' husband white, and AI says no. AI says no, but I can't find any valid information. And I can't find where she lives now. Mind you, I didn't ask for AI, just Google. That's the first thing that Google gives you. I think she lives in Maryland. I think she still lives in Maryland. Sorry, what'd you say?
Oh yeah, it says she still lives in Maryland. So yeah, I guess it would be Potomac.
I like Potomac. Do you? I didn't know you even.
I don't
know the Housewives. Have you ever? Have you ever watched an episode?
I used to be an Abbott Housewives fan.
Have you ever watched any Potomac?
I stopped before Potomac came around.
Do you know the names of any of the Potomac Housewives?
I know it was one that just got arrested for being an alcoholic or something and running a whole bunch of people. Is her name Robin or something?
No, well, there is a Robin Dixon. She just got fired last season. But Karen Huger, she got arrested for a DUI. She didn't hit anyone as far as I know.
But wasn't she like cursing out the officers or something and like acting real, like she was real soft stuff?
Yeah, she was.
And she act like she's real high and mighty and religious on the show.
Yeah, she's the grande dame. And then there's also Giselle Bryant, who has a famous husband who's a pastor, Jamal Bryant. No. I mean, these are like C-list celebrities, right?
No, it's just this is the thing with I just got off of the reality TV show thing completely. Like I just stopped watching reality TV because
it's garbage. It's brain rot. I just have one aunt who every time I go to visit her in LA, she makes me watch it the whole time I'm there.
It's not even that, it's just brain rot. I realized my friend group in real life was starting to act like we had a reality show. And like every moment was like and I was just like, no, bitch, we don't have a reality show. Like we're just normal people. Like we don't. Yeah, let me get off this shit because if I act like this just because, that's why I stopped watching reality TV. Like,
and did your friend group recover?
No, we stopped being friends. I have no friends now, but you are. No, they still think.
Oh, sorry. What?
No, they still think they're on a reality TV show.
Oh, okay. They're still on their show. Do you have any older mentors, either in the trans community or gymnastics or somewhere else in your life, another area?
Yes, I have a game. Yes.
You said gay?
I have a gay mother.
That's lovely. Do they live near you?
No, well, they live in South Florida when I used to live in South Florida. We're friendly. I don't say we'll communicate like often, but every so often we'll talk.
Nice.
Last thing I have, and then we could get off. And this isn't even important. I just want to say, city of LA. I don't know what the fuck's gonna happen, but y'all better get y'all shit together before 2028. Y'all can't be having y'all whole city on fire while the damn Olympics are there. But I've also been hearing people saying that this is the reason why the wildfires is going on. Ain't no damn wildfires. They're just trying to clear out property so they could build up the Olympics. How do you feel about that?
That is the first time I've heard that.
Oh no, a lot of the residents are like, it was no wildfires.
No, I'm sure they're saying. I'm just saying, like, I haven't actually. I've heard pieces of those different things, but putting it all together in one sentence like that was like, oh wow, that's the first I've heard.
Yeah, it makes sense, doesn't it?
Kind of.
It makes sense. Like they would need space to build up shit.
Also, I thought it was gonna get even darker. I thought you were gonna say something even darker than that.
Oh, you thought I was gonna say they were trying to burn off the homeless people so the homeless people could.
Mm-hmm.
That's what they're saying.
Or not even like them, but like make it uninhabitable.
Yeah, that's what they're saying. That's how they're trying to clean up LA. They're trying to cause all of these fires to get rid of all the homeless people. So the homeless people go to San Francisco or San Diego and have Los Angeles looking like this pristine, rich-ass, beautiful city. Yeah, that's what they're saying.
Just until 2028, because that's not a sustainable plan long term. Mind you, there are already the huge unhoused population in San Francisco.
Oh, I can imagine.
I don't think the United States should be allowed to host the Olympics.
Oh wow, okay.
What about that whole conversation about, I mean, that could lead into conversations like the United States shouldn't be allowed to participate in the Olympics. And then what about the other conversation where it's like the Olympics shouldn't take place in 2020 in the 21st century where we are?
A lot of people do feel like the Olympics shouldn't take place anymore. I don't know if I'm that far on it, but I will say this. I think the initial ideal of why the Olympics was around no longer exists.
Right. Like, what if we reformed the Olympics? Also, if the people don't really, I feel like they don't go past that initial shock value to think about what could emerge, what could replace, or what could be brought up if the Olympics didn't exist. It wouldn't just be bad. It could potentially turn into a good thing that we can't even imagine.
But I think
we're limiting our imagination.
I think for gymnastics, it would actually be the best thing possible to get rid of the Olympics.
Well, let me show you a book I want to recommend to everyone. I agree. Keep talking.
I think the Olympics being every 4 years and being just one singular competition that they so heavily focus on every 4 years is what limits the growth of gymnastics. I think if they had like a NFL or NBA, but just with the whole world, where the world championships really meant something at the end of the year, and then you had a whole gymnastics season of competitions all across the world like they do now, but it actually meant something. It wasn't just going towards the Olympics every 4 years. It actually meant something like, let them girls get paid at the end of the year. Let it be the world championships be a professional sport where they're making millions of dollars winning these medals every year. Instead of giving out medals, give out prize money. Like,
I would love that. And that's just like one of 1,000 potentially good ideas that are out there waiting to be acknowledged or discovered or thought of.
Without the Olympics there would be less of a time constraint, which means they could put bigger teams together, which means we could see more gymnasts. Without the Olympics, they wouldn't construct the rules to be so friendly to 4-year fans. So we could be like, fuck 4-year fans, and then the rules could make sense to us, and transitions could get G values like they should, and dance elements could get G values like they should, because we understand how hard that shit is.
I love what you're saying.
So yeah, I think taking gymnastics out of the Olympics would actually save this sport.
I think we're way too attached to the idea of the Olympics, especially the way that they are presented now.
Think about it like this: without the Olympics, there would be no time constraint on a gymnast's career and her body. She wouldn't feel like, okay, I'm going to turn 16 and this
not
year
just her, but her coaches.
Correct. It's just, okay, this year she's turning 16, so now we're going to prepare her for the big stage. Like, it's no time constraint. It's just every year there's a world championship, so gymnasts wouldn't feel so pressure when it comes to injuries, because they would feel like, okay, I missed the Worlds this year, I'll just go next year.
Do you think part of...
Now, I missed the...
Sorry, I thought you were done.
No, go ahead.
Were you done?
I was just saying, instead of missing this Olympics and have to wait a whole another 4 years, you'll just wait another few months and go to the next Worlds. Or
yeah, totally. Do you think part of why some people are so nostalgic and romanticize and idealize gymnastics from the 80s and the 90s is because that's like when you had the youngest gymnasts achieve success, and that in itself is like a spectacle, a marvel. A 14-year-old perfect 10 gold medal is more eye-catching than like 27-year-old.
Yes, and I'm just going, ooh, yeah, I'm going to say it. We have to acknowledge that there is a very, and if you watch the 80s gymnastics, it's very overt. It's an overt perversion that they do with the girls, and it's kind of played up upon, and I'm not saying that wouldn't happen if there was no Olympics. It just wouldn't, this spotlight wouldn't be as bright if it would just happen every year. If like every year you would see somebody new. Every year, like, and I know every year you do get to see somebody new. I do know it's like that currently, but it just feels like it's more important during the Olympic years than non-Olympic years.
It is.
Like this whole world championship.
You feel that way for a reason.
There's a whole world championship. Correct. There's a whole world championship that don't nobody give a damn about that's happening this year. It's the Olympics for a whole 3.5 more years. So why prepare your hardest for this world championships? Just like a lot of these gymnastics meets, if it wasn't the Olympics, I think a lot of countries would send a lot more people, and these lower level, like Compass Cup, would be a lot more competitive because this would just be another meet for them to make money. It wouldn't be like the beginning of the Olympic, the first meet to the next Olympic cycle. It's just, it's Compass Cup. Let me try to earn a hot $50,000 real quick.
I wish that the earnings are that much. Do you think that most gymnasts from other countries are going to Compass Cup, say? Are they okay? Respond how you want, because I might be missing the point or messing things up. I'm tired. But is it more likely that gymnasts from smaller federations are incentivized to go to competitions like Copas to receive the earnings that the FIG or whoever it is gives them, or that their federation gives them directly for their results? You think it's equal?
I think it's equal, especially like.
You think they're paying them the same amount?
I don't think they're paying them the same amount, but there's an opportunity to earn 2 checks.
I'd be curious about the breakdown, though.
I would be too, but like the Chinese gymnasts, why they send like the Chinese? Why they're sending their best gymnasts? Because they hope they're going to win some prize money.
But they're not a small federation. I bet you the Chinese federation pays the gymnasts more than Copas does.
I bet they do, but it's still also a chance for them to still earn money still.
Yeah.
While they can, and they're young and healthy. Like the Olympic beam silver medalist from the America is not going to worry about going to Copas because the Olympic beam silver medalist from China is like, hell yeah, bitch, send me to this bitch. I can earn a quick dollar. Ain't nobody going to be here either. Okay.
What were we talking about right before that? Do you remember?
Trump?
No, not that far back. Right before I said, which do you think pays more?
Oh, we were talking about if the Olympics weren't, if they took gymnastics out of the Olympics and each.
Yeah. That was a bit too far back. It was something right in between. I might have lost it. Whatever.
We was talking about like how if Copas Cup, instead of it being the first competition of this 4-year cycle, it was just the first competition.
I remember my thought. Unless you had a thought about that. Sorry. It didn't have to do with Copas. Okay. I just wanted to say, mind you, it's not a coincidence that the first year that the FIG allows a country from South Asia to host the World Championships, it's the most irrelevant year of the cycle. That's all.
Again, if the Olympics, if they take the Olympics out of gymnastics, I would even say one thing. I would take it even further. Like I would stop hosting competitions in countries that can't. Like if their crowd won't come, I wouldn't host the competition there. Like I would always be in Germany, America, China, Japan, where I know Brazil, where the people are going to show out at. I would stop hosting competitions in like Lithuania, where it's like 5 people in the stands. Or
wait, is this how you feel or the FIG?
That's how I feel, and that's how I feel the FIG should do it. Like instead of having
what are your examples? Give me real examples, not Lithuania, because they've never hosted anything. And don't say Doha, because that was just a money grab. We don't know that Indonesia, who's hosting 2025, is not going to be able to turn out huge crowds because they've never had the opportunity. What did you say?
They have a meet in Qatar every year, and there is always nobody there. They have a meet in.
Oh, you're talking about smaller meets. I thought you were just talking about Worlds and Olympics.
No, I'm talking about like even those small World Cups. Like they have
Doha. Yeah. Okay. Well, Doha. I was just saying Doha is Qatar. We're not including Doha because they pay a lot of money so that they host stuff there. That's why they get chosen.
Yeah, well, they shouldn't.
Use a different example. Where there aren't a good team now.
Even Copas, I mean, why do it there? Like, bring one.
There's a reason for this. Catherine would have an answer. There's a reason. I remember reading about it.
But I'm just saying, yeah, I'm not even fuck all that being friendly shit. That's what I'm saying. Like, if you're gonna want gymnastics fans to come to these gymnastics meets, you need to hold these meets in place where gymnastics fans are gonna be at. Ain't nobody finna go to fucking Doha, Qatar to see them damn gymnastics. Fuck them people over there. Fuck whatever money they giving to y'all. Host it in fucking Miami. People would go to fucking Miami. Host it in fucking, I would say Paris, but I'm not sure.
No, it's so Western centric. Also, there are gymnastics fans everywhere in every country.
Fuck it. I don't care for that shit. Like, make it more accessible for, like, I'm so sorry. Where I'm at is, I don't give a damn.
But they are, in a way, like all the fans in South Asia, they've never had a world championships, and now they have one.
I mean, it depends on where at in South Asia, because, like, some places, yes, I feel like it's perfectly reasonable, but some places, like, I don't think it's reasonable to host. I don't think it's reasonable to host a gymnastics meet in.
Don't be messy.
I know.
Let's talk shit about Australia. Who gives a fuck about Australia?
I don't think it's fair to host gymnastics meets in Australia. Who the fuck finna fly all the way to damn Australia? They need to be the ones flying to other parts of the world.
I couldn't agree more. Sorry. Like, you've had your moment also. You had an Olympic Games. You've had multiple Olympic Games, in fact.
Like,
you had Brisbane, 1994. There was an Olympics in Brisbane, I think, also, but that was like in the 50s or something. And they're going back to Australia in like 2032, I think.
I thought it was after. Oh yeah, damn. I was just about. I thought it was after LA, and then I realized, yeah, that is after LA. You know, that's why they did that. It was an American Olympics and it was a damn Australian Olympics. Why do they do that like that? Every time there's an American Olympics, there's always
had an American. I wonder why.
No, we had an American. In 1988, it was
Seoul,
Korea. That's close though. Seoul, Korea is closer than anywhere.
But 1984 wasn't a real Olympics, so we had to go back to. We had to go back further. I don't know. Was 1996 America's first Summer Olympic Games?
84?
That doesn't count. It's not a real Olympics. A real Olympics.
Maybe that's why they gave it to LA again, so they could finally have a real Olympics. I mean, it was a real Olympics for everybody but gymnastics. No, it wasn't. I really never paid that no attention. Like, did the Russians ban in 84 affect other sports like it did gymnastics? Because I don't know if the Soviets was good at other sports back then.
That's a good question. I'm sure there's research. Mary Lou. The world is you want to say the world is laughing at us? The world is laughing at Mary Lou and that GoFundMe mess.
How many Summer Olympics have the USA hosted? Four times in 04, 32, and 96.
Wait, what was it? Sorry?
04 and 1932. 1904 and 1932.
Those were both hosted by the United States?
Mm-hmm.
Which were the cities? What were the cities?
I don't know, but you're supposed to be looking at if Australia hosted the Olympics after that.
Oh my gosh. 1904 Olympics. The 1904 Olympics were held in fucking St. Louis, Missouri.
Would never have guessed that.
I literally would never have told. I would have never guessed that. And I have looked through every Olympic Games before, and I would have never guessed that.
I think that would be a good place to host an Olympics in America because it's right in the middle of America. So a lot of people would have.
You need to stop. I won't entertain this. Missouri should not host anything. 1908 Olympics were in London. I feel like there have been so many fucking Olympics in London. 1932 Olympics. They were held in Los Angeles. I'm sorry. I'm so sorry.
Los Angeles did have a real Olympics before. So now, why LA get 3 Olympics? Like Miami could get an Olympics. Yeah, I would rather see the Olympics in Atlanta again. Shit.
Because they're just so Western centric.
I'm sure that's convenient for the.
That is so messy. The LA Olympics, the original ones were held during the Great Depression.
Damn, the LA Olympics always held during some messy ass time.
It said with some nations not traveling to LA as a result, 37 countries competed compared to the 46 at the 1928 games in Amsterdam. Mess.
So it also was not a fully attended Olympic Games.
Do you want to guess where the next Olympics were?
After 80, 90, 32?
That's right.
36.
Russia? I'll help you out. That's where Jesse Owens won 4 gold medals.
Oh, was it?
Here's another hint. I'm sure Elon Musk would have loved to have attended these.
South Africa?
That's not a bad guess. No, it was Berlin, Germany. It was the Nazis. Hitler opened the games.
Oh. Elon and his Nazis salute that. It's famous around the world. So you guys, I am done. I'm tired. I'm emotionally exhausted.
I'm so tired. I want to show these 2 books really quickly. Is that okay?
Okay, good.
These are books that I would recommend to anyone. I won't say much about them at all. I'm too tired. But first we have this book. It's called Pleasure Activism. And I really enjoyed it. I'd recommend it to everyone. And it really helped me understand how limited our imaginations can be, amongst other things. And opening your imagination is the key to all of our collective futures, in my opinion. That's what I took away from it. One of the many things. And this other one, and the author is Adrienne Maree Brown, Pleasure Activism. This one is called Afterglow, Climate Fiction for Future Ancestors, and it's short stories written by different authors. Adrienne Maree Brown, the author of Pleasure Activism, she wrote an introduction. Okay. And it's great. It's about imagining radically different climate futures, and some of them involve global warming, and some of that it's great. It's all about opening your imagination and first acknowledging how limited your imagination is to begin with, and how that's holding you back potentially, or anyone. I would recommend them both.
Dope.
And they're pretty hopeful books also. So that's another reason I would recommend them.
Oh, okay. Cool. So yeah, I guess we will see you all Monday. Be looking for some Twitter spaces this weekend. I might do some Twitter spaces.
That would be fun.
Yeah, I work tomorrow overnight, so I might not watch the gymnastics live because I work overnight tomorrow. But I'm off all day Saturday again. I was off all day today. So
what's the meet to watch on Friday and Saturday and Sunday?
On
if you
Friday,
have to choose one. Sunday is Kentucky versus Alabama. Missouri. Kentucky versus Missouri. So Saturday and Friday,
night would be
Florida at Georgia.
Florida, Georgia, LSU, and whoever else.
Arkansas.
LSU, Arkansas, Florida, Georgia. I think those are happening at the same time. And then
Saturday?
No, it's another meet on Friday.
Those are Friday. What's the one? I asked for one.
Oh, one. I thought you was just saying the best meets on Friday.
No, if you had to recommend one meet for each night.
OU, Alabama for Friday.
Okay.
For Saturday, it would be UCLA, I guess.
Versus
Washington?
No, I don't think so. But I don't remember.
I don't remember either. And then Sunday definitely is the Missouri-Kentucky meet. That's going to be great.
Yeah, I agree. Did you watch UCLA versus Maryland?
I skimmed through it.
Okay. I didn't
watch I think I did watch it live because Addicts was streaming it. So, yeah, I saw it when Addicts was streaming it.
And Shayna, who is UCLA facing this week?
Period.
Sorry.
And for those who are wondering where to watch all of this and how we keep it up with all this is Addicts. Watch Addicts. His Twitch channel was taken down, but
not permanently, we're hoping, right?
Yes. But for you as the Gymternet fan, that's probably the best thing that could have happened to you because now he's forced to stream it on Twitter or X, which no ads, and it's just a regular stream. So his thing now is not Addicts Inc. is very Godfag or something like that. Watch the NCAA. Who is something I want to talk about? Who's what? What happened?
I said support these gymnasts.
Support these gymnasts. And I just
Is it fair to say, is it fair? Is the logic correct to say if the more people watch the competitions, the more the gymnasts themselves benefit from it or get paid more? Or no, is that not even true?
I don't. I'm not.
I don't think so, but I wish it was.
No, it is. It is because it brings attention to them. So when they're advertising their NILs on their social medias, it brings more eyes that way. So yeah, it helps. It helps.
Great. Tell all your friends to watch.
Correct. I want to say this, and this time for the close the show. Now I'm trying to choose my words extraordinarily carefully, even more carefully than I normally try to be. So Yul has accepted his punishment and has taken credit for his transgressions. I don't think that we should be trying to private eye what actually happened when the man already taken responsibility for what happened. It would be one thing if he was acting like he didn't know what was going on while, there was a suspension in place. But I feel like he has taken accountability for his actions. So I don't feel like there needs to be any further investigations. Now, speculations, yes, it's fun. It's hilarious. He's a public figure. I think that's fair. But actually figuring out times and dates of missed appointments, that's... Again, it'd be one thing if he was not taking credibility for what happened, but from my knowledge, he is. So I think...
I totally think he is. I think he's taken... I think he's literally acknowledged his responsibility in this situation. That's his expectation, the expected responsibility. And that to me is taking accountability.
Correct. So I just think we should not be...
Now, what do you think about critiquing the system of USADA?
That's fair. That's fair.
I think that's fair too.
But attacking Yul himself is unfair. Criticizing Asada for not trying harder to accommodate a gymnast is 1000% fair. If that's what people felt like what was going on, I think that's fair. I just don't... I don't think it's fair for people to actively be pursuing something that somebody has already taken accountability for.
Agreed.
It's like at that point you're just being nosy and just trying to find some shit out. So that's just my take on that. Like, we talked about the Yul thing over here. We made lighthearted jokes about it, but are we actively trying to figure out what happened? No. Now, if it comes across my timeline and somebody tells me about it, that's different. But I'm not actively looking for this. But you're more than welcome to come on the show and talk about it.
I was just about to say, if Yul comes on the show, are you asking him about it?
Hell, fuck yes. Unless he explicitly asked me not to talk about it, then I wouldn't talk about it. I have lots of stuff I could talk to you about.
Lots.
And with that being said, I think we're going to bring the show to a conclusion. Please go follow my good buddy Oscar at Gymnastics Save Lives over there on YouTube. And follow me at the places. Follow Shayna at the places. And follow Ezra at the places too. And we'll be back Monday. I hope there was a message y'all got in this whole 4-hour show. I have to go back and rewatch it because I love when we do this. Like, what did we talk about? A lot. We talked about a lot. We talked about a fucking lot in this show.
Yeah.
Love you all. See y'all over the weekend and see y'all Monday for the show. Bye.
Have a great weekend, everyone. Bye. Good night.
Bye. Let me do my extra. Exit. Extra. Exit. 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 Which exit intro is it? This one. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to another edition of